Was the Cardinals, not the Orioles, coming out on top. St. Louis bashed 5 home runs and won the opener 11-2. So today in Game 2, Wade Miley goes to the mound as the Orioles look to get even in this series. It's the O's and Cardinals up next on MASN. It's the Orioles on MASN on a warm and muggy Saturday afternoon in downtown Baltimore. It's the Orioles and St. Louis Cardinals. Today it's the middle game in this 3-game weekend series. And hi everyone, I'm Jim Hunter. Welcome to Camden Yards. And of course, over the long baseball season, every team goes through it. You'll have those streaks and you'll have your slumps. And of course, you try to maximize the winning and the streaks and minimize the losing and the slumps. And today, the Orioles are hoping to break out of it, a slump that goes back to June the 3rd. When the Orioles beat the Red Sox on June 2nd, they were in second place in the AL East, just 2.5 games out of first. But the fortunes have turned. They've gone 3-10 since then. The team pitching ERA 7.64, and the starters have struggled even more, 1-10 with an ERA of 9.72. Those ERAs are the highest in the American League since that day, and the hitters have contributed as well. A .243 batting average, 51 runs scored. The home runs are off, and as a result, the runs per game are off. And Jim, obviously the Orioles have a good team. They did start 22-10, so they know how to win. They know how to get it done. The question is, how do you get out of the funk and get back to that?
Well, you do it. You know, I hate to sound like somebody from Nike, but you just do it. And we know that's not easy, but it starts with your starting pitching. And I'm somewhat biased because I know how important starting pitching is. When they were playing well and they were 22-10, the ERA, and wasn't the best in the league, but it was about 4 runs a game. Well, let's get back to that. I mean, it's been, almost 7 runs a game. They're not keeping him in the game. Wade Miley today is going to pitch. He hadn't gone 3 innings in the last 2 starts. So what does that do to a depleted bullpen because of injuries and inexperience and maybe ineffectiveness or whatever? So, again, it's not that complicated. They're not facing Carlos Martinez when we talk about the offense. He's one of the top and most dominant pitchers in the National League. They get a veteran who's a very good pitcher in Adam Wainwright, but he's not the Adam Wainwright that won 20 games twice and 19 games on 2 occasions. He's 35 years old. He can still pitch, but his ERA is almost 8 runs a game on the road. So just do it.
Well, the starters have had difficulty getting deep in games. In fact, they now have 29 starts of 5 innings or less, and the result of that is the Orioles bullpen now leads the American League in innings pitched.
Well, it does, and again, it's a depleted bullpen because of injuries. O'Day's been in and on the DL, off the DL. Britton had 5 for 5 in saves, but your closer, so everybody moves back. So again, if you're Wade Miley, you got to do what you haven't been able to do, which is to throw strikes. When you start looking at some of his numbers, I mean, he leads the American League in walks. Well, he's got good enough stuff to get him out in the strike zone, but it's hard to do that when you throw ball 1 versus strike 1. So capable of doing that. He's got a good changeup. He's got the curveball, the slider. He dominates lefties, who are their hottest hitters. Carpenter hit a home run last night. So, hey, control that, take care of the other young guys by, changing up and doing the things you can do and take your chances. But you'd love to be able to get to the back end of the Oriole bullpen. And how do you do that? Pitch 6 innings, have a lead. Hope that the Orioles hitters can step up, do something against Wainwright. You get to Givens, you get to Brock, you get to the back end of the bullpen, and maybe you get a win.
And one of the keys today, of course, will be keeping the ball in the ballpark. We saw what a different team the Cardinals are when they hit those home runs.
Well, yeah, I saw Mike Matheny said, you managed really well when your team hits 5 home runs. So this is not a great team when you talk about the Cardinals as hitting home runs or playing on the road. But last night, 5 home runs, that did the number.
So today, middle game of this 3-game weekend series. It's interleague baseball at Camden Yards. We're coming back to the ballpark. Lineups and first pitch are next. Masson is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Johns Hopkins Orthopedics, serving the community for over 125 years. Well, it's a muggy Saturday afternoon here at Camden Yards. Our BGE Home game time temperature. BGE Home is Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? 86 degrees and that humidity up there at 63%. Just a slight breeze and mostly cloudy skies. Here is the Cardinals lineup as they play the middle game of this Interleague Series. And of course, on the road, the National League team gets to DH, so Matt Carpenter will do that today. Dexter Fowler in the number 2 spot. He's been on a tear over the last 6 games, and he has homered in back-to-back games. Martinez, Jerko, Molina, Diaz at short, then Pham, Huffman, and DeYoung.
And for Wade Miley, well, get some length. You know, he hasn't done it his last 2 starts, 2 2/3, 2 1/3, but before that, 7 innings, only 1 run against the Red Sox. You'd like to see that. Well, he likes the yard. Hadn't won a lot of games. He's only 1 2, but low ERA, 2.15 run. And then when it comes to throwing strikes, you got to trust your stuff. You got to think that your stuff's good enough, and it is. You know, he's got a 2-seamer, 4-seamer, curveball, slider, changeup. Throw some strikes, take your chances.
Well, the Orioles need him to pitch well today and preserve that bullpen with his mid-afternoon start following a night game. So here is Carpenter, who can DH today and keep his bat in the lineup, and there's ball 1. Carpenter has hit in 10 straight games.
Yeah, lefties are only 6 for 36 off of Wade Miley, and this is their hottest hitter. Not that Fowler, because Fowler's red hot, but he hasn't. Most of the damage he's done lately has been from the left side of the plate, and he'll hit right-handed.
Now, Miley, of course, came up with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He was their first-round pick back in 2008. And he last faced the Cardinals as a member of the Diamondbacks September 27th, 2014. That was the last time he saw St. Louis. And Carpenter, who's at the plate, and Yadier Molina, who's playing today, those two were in the lineup that day. Carpenter played third base, and of course Molina did the catching. Now 2-2 the count. And it's low ball 3 and 3-2 counts. Nothing new for Wade Miley.
Well, it isn't, but you know, again, I mean, you threw him a 2-1 fastball. If you throw that pitch now, all of a sudden you don't want to walk him. But 3-2, I always thought it enhanced my chance of doing that. And he does, because again, he can't, you know, he got ahead. He just, and again, goes back to my key. I hate to do it to the first batter. Trust your stuff. You trust your stuff means I got to throw a strike. 3 pitches to do it, and he doesn't. Take a look at the defense, and there is no defense for a walk, as we know. Kim's, Jones, Smith, Machado, Hardy, Scope, Mancini. That's the infield, and then Wellington Castillo. Hot with the bat. Doing a great job in his first year with the Orioles behind the plate.
So here's Dexter Fowler. Switch hitter will bat right-handed today. And you got to be careful with Wade Miley on the mound. He's as good as picking off runners as anybody. And the Cardinals have already had 10 runners picked off bases this year.
Well, if somebody gets picked off, it won't because they didn't tell him he has a good move, because he does. And there's a pitch to hit, but that, you know, all you got to do, if you have, if you're a veteran pitcher, and Wade is, and you're saying, okay, I'm walking too many guys, come out and watch batting practice, and you'll see balls that they know are coming, and they hit them, and there are the numbers for Fowler. You can see all home runs, 11 of them, one of them last night from the other side. They pop balls up, they hit line drives at people. So again, once you come out to batting practice and you see that, you go, hey, sometimes I can be aggressive. They don't know what's coming. They may, you know, till they get to 2 strikes, they can think they know what's coming. But if I walk people, it gives everybody a helpless feeling.
And a 2-1 on Fowler after a leadoff walk. There's the strikeout walk ratio.
Well, the walks lead the American League in the amount of pitches per batter at 4.15. That too.
It should be back in the crowd. It will be. Mancini watches it sail into the stands for a souvenir.
Yeah, nice little pitch. You'd hope when you can throw a 2-1 changeup when he's looking fastball, and even though he swings, you might get it out, but they foul it off.
Well, Miley, he's allowing 14.5 base runners per 9 innings. A little less than Gausman, who last night went into the game at 17.4, and a swing and a miss. He got him. So Miley comes back to get Fowler one away.
Take a look at your Mercedes pitch cast, and couldn't do this to Carpenter as far as throwing the slider. This time down and in. If you're Dexter Fowler, you think it's going to be in the middle plate, and it dived to your back leg. So well executed 2-strike slider. And a great angle there. You could see how far off third base Manny Machado was.
Jose Martinez moves up to the number 3 spot tonight. Last night he batted 8th, and he's playing at first base, so Carpenter can DH. Of course, with Miley, his pitch count is always an issue, and that's in large part because he does walk a lot of batters and he does strike out a lot of batters. So when you walking almost 5 a game and striking out 8, it takes a lot of pitches to get that done.
And you can see just off a tick. I think he might have thought the first pitch was a strike. Tony Randazzo, the home plate umpire, and we saw strikes, tight strike zone last night, but maybe a little bit more troublesome for Kevin Gausman than it was for Carlos Martinez.
Well, if anything, Miley is in Carpenter's head at first base, because as Wade was about to deliver to the plate, Carpenter was moving back towards the base.
Well, that's because you can't read the mood. And Ali Marmol, the first base coach, is saying, I don't know if he's whispering in his ear, please don't get picked off. We've already had 10 guys. Don't make me look bad. They've already reassigned some of the coaches. I don't want to be another one.
You saw there he was flinching. Going to count to 3-1.
See, all those pitches close, but not close enough. And the thing about Jose Martinez, we told you, he's been with a number of organizations, but he did hit what, 368 in Omaha. Couldn't even get called up, so he changed organizations and had a chance to play with the Cardinals. But and there's not even close for ball 4. So a couple of walks, and this is what we were kind of talking about. So most walks, lowest strike percentage, you're already seeing that. 5th lowest first strike percentage, 6th most in pitches per batter, and then pitches per inning, 3rd most. And while it's led to a relatively lower ERA, much lower than last year, it's also led for him to be out of the game prematurely.
So 2 on with 1 man down. And here's Jed Jerko, the cleanup hitter. And again missing, so Castillo out to the mound for a visit.
Well, you just walked a guy with no power, even though he's a pretty good hitter, sprayed the ball all over the plate, and Jose Martinez, to get to a guy that has hit close to 300, hit 30 home runs last year, hit a home run, one of the 5 last night, to right field. And that's how you get into the big innings. And our counterpart, our Rick Dempsey, who caught for 24 years, and he and I concur that it's not always the walks, it's what happens after the walks. So who did you pitch around, even though maybe you didn't mean to do it, and who do you have to get to and try to get out?
Borderline pitch, and he gets a call.
Yeah, see, Jed Jerko wants to be called. He wants to be hitting 2-0, and then, this is right at the knees. There's been a lot of those. He thinks it's a little low, and all you can do is look at the body language.
Well, he saw Castillo move the glove about an inch, or about a foot, about 12 inches. That one hung, but he pulled it foul. 1-2 on Jerko.
And I think the hardest thing, and it's not that it's easy to throw strikes, it's just, I think the one thing about Wade Miley that, I think if you're a pitching coach, you got to run out to the mound, or you got to try to get him to understand your stuff is better than you think it is, but it won't be any good unless you throw it over. And the only way you can pitch out of the strike zone is to get ahead. And, I think one of the keys to pitching, and I'm going to kind of back off and hope that he does it, is most pitchers want to throw enough strikes to get people out with balls. But if you throw balls early in the count, then you have to throw strikes, and that's when you get in trouble.
Right field. Smith is right there. Carpenter's going to tag. Bluff going to third as Smith fires it back in. So Miley gets a big out, and he's not away from getting out of it.
And he's thrown 21 pitches to get to the 2 walks, and probably has pretty good stuff today. And it's hard to tell, though. So the Cardinals are no different than any team that's playing the Orioles since the O'Day and Britton has gone down, and is that they want, and we talked about it ad nauseum because this is what teams do, get to the underbelly of the bullpen, and for most bullpens that's in the middle innings. Now with the Orioles, before O'Day went down and Britton went down, that wasn't the case, which is why they won 89 games last year.
Towards Scope. Jonathan does it go right by him and into center field, and the Cardinals are going to get the lead. The umpire may have blocked his vision ever so slightly. Jerry Davis was there, and that ball just skipped right past Jonathan Scope.
Yeah, well, it's hit pretty hard. So I mean, right here, yeah, I don't think he saw the ball. And it's not the first time umpire. That's where they stand. I mean, it's a breaking ball. You know, again, if you're going well, which he's not, talking about Miley, I mean, that's just a routine out. Yeah, we kind of saw it with Trey Mancini in Chicago, where the runner, you didn't impede him, but that, you know, if you don't see a ball, if the guy's playing dodgeball, the umpire was doing that right there.
Scope has been charged with an error. So the Cardinals get the lead as that leadoff walk comes around the score. No RBI for Molina on the error. To Hardy. And the force at second on Molina will end the inning. But an unearned run. Wade Miley walked 2. The leadoff walk comes around the score on the error. We head to the bottom of the first. Cardinals 1, and here come the Birds. Not sure if that ball hit his throwing hand as it bounced by him. Could be that Jerry Davis blocked his vision ever so slightly because the ball was hit so hard before you knew it was by him. Charged with an error, so an unearned run, but the Cardinals do get the lead. Here's the Orioles lineup brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Smith, Machado, Jones with Trumbo in the cleanup spot. Then Mancini, Scope, and Castillo. Hyun-Soo Kim, very limited at bats in June, but he's hitting very well, 7 out of 21. And J.J. Hardy, the shortstop, bats ninth.
And that lineup will face Adam Wainwright. This will be his debut against the Orioles. 141 wins, 80 losses. Stingy with home runs, has thrown 5 in 13 games, and then throws a lot of strikes. Now, again, very much, even though Martinez has much better stuff, he's 5-1 at home and 2-3 on the road, and the ERA over 7 runs a game. So we'll see if that has any bearing here. He's kind of looking in because that ball seemed to be right down the middle, and Tony Randazzo didn't call that pitch. So Holberg last night and Randazzo, at least early on, favoring the hitters.
And a bouncer to second base. Right there is DeYoung. And he throws out Smith, 1 away.
Take a look at the defense, and again, not bad in the outfield. Pham, Fowler, and then Chad Huffman getting a chance to play. Jerko, Diaz, DeJohn, who had 3 hits last night, one of them a 2-run home run. Jose Martinez moves over to first, and then the Gold Glover, Yadier Molina, doing the catching. But see, that was Adam Wainwright right there. Misses, and then he throws a little cutter, just moves a little bit. It's going to be about 89. Fastball is going to top out at 91. Got a big curveball. But you will get pitches to hit today.
Manny shows bunt. Got Jerko moving. Well, Adam Wainwright with that out facing the Orioles. He now has faced every team except the Cardinals because he's been a career Cardinal after the trade, and Manny does bunt, but it rolls foul.
Yeah, there's a base hit. All he has to do is get it fair, and that's not always easy to do, especially when you don't bunt a lot. Kind of like that play. They give it to you, you take it. I mean, it is early. You would like to think, because you did it with no strikes, that he will actually come in. I'm not sure that'll be the case, because he's still playing. He's talking to the umpire. I mean, he's playing deep enough where he can stand and talk to Pat Hoberg, the third base umpire, and they're almost even. So most third basemen, when you bunt on an 0-0 count or a 1-0 count, they're going to come in, but they go, we'd rather have them bunt, I guess, than hit.
Fouls back the breaking ball, so 1-2.
So back-to-back hooks.
Now Manny comes in 0 for his last 8 and 4 for his last 20. He is batting .244 in June, but he has just 2 home runs and 4 RBIs this month. So Wainwright ahead 1-2, and he got him. So Machado down on strikes and 2 quick outs in the first.
After last night, you may say Adam Wainwright's comfortable, but he can make some pitches. You know, he's been around. We talked about the 141 and 80 losses. So again, high winning percentage, 19-8, 20-11, 19-9, 20-9. Did have Tommy John surgery, missed all of 2011.
Here's Adam Jones, whose bat is beginning to come around. Looks at a breaking ball for a ball. Adam in his last 5 games batting at a .350 clip. He is 7 for 20 in that stretch with a couple of RBIs. Wainwright with 2 quick outs. Well, with Wainwright facing the Orioles, he was drafted by Atlanta, but he was traded to the Cardinals when he was in AA. So he's been a career Cardinal in the major leagues. So the Orioles were the last team that he could have faced. Of course, he can't face the Cardinals. So he has now faced 29 of the 30 teams. There are 91 active pitchers who have faced every major league team, and the matchup today are now 2 of them. As Adam Jones gets in the 1. That ball is deep. That ball is back, and that ball is gone. And we are tied in the first. Adam Jones stays hot. There's number 12, and we are back even at 1.
Well, there goes one of the keys, and we said about Stingy's with homers, only 5 on the year. But this is Camden Yards, and when you make a mistake, we saw it last night with the Cardinals hitting 5 home runs. Mancini hit a high slider for the Orioles, so there were 6 home runs hit last night, and none of them were low and away fastballs. That was a hanging curveball that Adam didn't miss.
Trumbo slices it down the line, and that's going to be back out of play. So let's get a look at this swing as Adam got into it.
Yep. Well, here's the hook, and boy, right in the middle. Big, strong guy. Didn't take batting practice yesterday or today. Trying to maybe mend a little bit from all the leg injuries. It didn't keep him from hitting the hanging curveball right out of here.
101 miles an hour it got out of here. Trumbo to center field. This ball's got a chance. Fowler back, and at the wall, he missed it. It's gone. It went right over his glove. There's a home run for Trumbo. The O's go back-to-back and have the lead.
I think Adam Wainwright thinking, well, if I'm going to make my debut, why couldn't it be at home where I'm 5-1 with a .288, not Camden Yards?
Fowler thought he was going to get it.
Well, I mean, it's hit. There's a little cutter, and it's hit again. I mean, this is a guy that led major leagues in home run. So he gets it in the air. Ball's more lively. And again, it looked like it was a lot closer. I think what happens, he runs into the wall because, again, you don't play here very often. And then the wall actually throws him forward.
So Trumbo had gone 55 at-bats without a home run. June the 1st was his last long ball, and 36 at-bats without an RBI, and he takes care of both of those on one swing. Breaking ball to Mancini, 0-2. Mancini's got a 7-game hitting streak going. Had a couple of hits last night. And a good take. No swing on the appeal. Rob Drake said he checked. See the Orioles and the Cardinals wearing the Father's Day weekend uniforms. The prostate cancer awareness as a bouncer to Jerko. And he gets Mancini for the out. But the Orioles not only get back at it, they get the lead. Adam Jones goes deep, his 12th of the year. That ties the game at 1. And then Trumbo comes to bat. He hits it out to center field. His 9th has given the Orioles the lead. Of Columbia has won $500 for being selected and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit in the game today. Play Home Run Rich's scratch-offs and win up to $50,000, or enter your non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/home runs. So Christopher has added another $1,000 courtesy of Mark Trumbo and Adam Jones, and Scope up the middle. He got him. Takes a base hit away from Tommy Pham.
Well, again, you put the shift on, or you maybe play up the middle a couple of steps, but this is, again, good range, and then this arm strength. I don't know. I mean, it's a little Bobby Grich, the only guy I ever saw. Not that Alomar couldn't, with 11 gold gloves, make that play. He would have made it differently, but Bobby Grich was a quarterback. So again, it's almost like it was a 7-step drop, and then he'd throw a rocket. So not too many second basemen have that kind of arm strength to be able to do what Jonathan Scope just did.
So now Miley looks for the shutdown inning after the O's get him the lead. Chad Huffman getting a start in right field today. Again, Mike Matheny taking advantage of the American League rules. He could DH a hitter and get one of his bench player in there for 4 at-bats. Huffman recently joined the team. This is his 8th game, and this is a pretty interesting story, Jim, with Chad Huffman. He went 2,543 days in between major league base hits. He was with the Yankees for a brief period back in 2010, and his last hit for the Yankees was against the Dodgers, an interleague game, June 27th of 2010, until Tuesday night when he came up as a pinch hitter at home in St. Louis and tripled. That's incredible. From June 27th of 2010 into June of 2017 in between base hits.
And he had 16 triples and 3,373 at bats in the minor leagues. That's how long he spent there. A lot of, fairly, good amount of home runs. I mean, 1 year at 20, usually 13 to 15. But he can play the outfield. They had this guy, Luke Voigt, who apparently is really tearing it up at AA Memphis.
Chopper to third. Manny charges. Throws on the run to get him, and 2 men down. So Miley gets 2 quick outs. Well, a one-of-a-kind dad deserves a one-of-a-kind gift. Now, tomorrow's Father's Day here at Oriole Park. Birds and Cardinals. And all fans 15 and over will receive the Orioles grayscale cap. And kids ages 4 to 14 can run the bases after the game, all presented by Wise Markets. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. And Jim Palmer will display that hat for all of his followers. Pose for a photo.
That's possible. Yeah. Oh, you got the photo op. I'm standing up when we do it again.
Well, you took the hat off.
Oh, that's right. I did. Well, I inadvertently.
You're stuck with that picture.
Yeah, the fireworks scared me. I inadvertently put it in the bag last night.
Now 1-1 the count on DeYoung. He's got a 2-game hitting streak. He also is up for the minor leagues. Colton Wong had to go on the DL, so DeYoung, who was up, was sent back and came right back to replace Colton Wong.
Well, how about DeYoung? His opening day in the big leagues, he pinch hit and hit a home run in Colorado. And that's until last night. He went about, 40-some, I think 44 at bats without a home run, and then homered again on a hanging slider. Great year last year at AA. They like him. Of course, they like Colton Wong, too, because of course, he hits from the other side of the plate. And he was red hot, 9 for 20, and then re-injured. Not only he went on the DL originally on the left elbow, and then the right elbow, or right bicep, tricep, something like that, got him back on the DL. And DeYoung gets to come back to the big leagues. He just asked me where did he get crabs. So I said today, I said, did you get it? He said no. I said no, I don't blame you. He went 3 hits. I said I'd eat exactly what I ate before last night's game.
And there's a 2-out walk. 3rd walk already allowed by Miley. Miley has averaged 5 walks per game while striking out 8.
Well, there's 20 pitches right there. And that would be if you just threw 4 balls. And that's why the pitch count is where it usually is.
Matt Carpenter walked and scored in the 1st. He is one of 4 Cardinals in this lineup that has faced Miley before. DeYoung diving back in.
Well, if you wonder if Carpenter can hit lefties, just ask Clayton Kershaw, who arguably is the best pitcher in major leagues. A couple of big home runs in the playoffs. I mean, he can hang in there. And he's a much bigger guy than you think. And he's not, not a home run guy per se, but he's almost 6'4". So again, if you go back, what, maybe 10, 11 days ago, he was hitting 209. Since he's gone 17 for 38 with 4 home runs, 6 multi-hit games. And he only had 6 multi-hit games in the first 52, so he's red hot.
Anytime you bring a 10-game hitting streak into a game, you know you're hot.
But also power numbers, doubles and home runs. I mean, he always hits home runs. He's hit 28, 21. There's John Mabry is hitting a truck. I told him, I said, you really did a great job last night. He said, no, I watched a great job.
Right to Mancini. He'll go to the bag, and that will end the inning. 2-out walk doesn't hurt as Miley gets out of it. Mid-second at Camden Yards, 2-1 O's. Baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. Now, the Red Sox relief pitchers have allowed no runs now, 24 consecutive innings, the club's longest scoreless streak since July of '09 when they went 25 1/3. The Dodgers own the longest streak this season, 24 2/3, and the Red Sox are right on that. Kenley Jansen, the Dodgers closer, 104 batters now without a walk. His numbers are unreal. And Jose Quintana last night, 2 runs in 7 innings to beat the Blue Jays at Rogers Center. He is now 5-0 in his career at Rogers Center, 3rd pitcher all time to win his first career 5 starts at Rogers Center, and he got a lot of run support. Jonathan Scope, a soft flare, and there's a leadoff single.
Yeah, if you're thinking middle and you get that little cutter on the outside corner, it's a lot easier. Otherwise, if you're thinking pull, you hit it to the shortstop on a couple of hops. So he throws it there. Boy, the Cardinals had a lot of great at bats last night. And that's how you put runs on the board, especially against a veteran like Adam Wainwright, who's going to change speeds and pitch in and out, and hoping that you'll get a little bit maybe greedy and roll over on pitches.
Wellington Castillo with a man on. And it's too tight, 1-0. Castillo, since coming off the disabled list, he rejoined the lineup, and he has gone 4 for 24 in the 7 games since being activated.
Yeah, what, he threw in a 1 for 10 and then got hot in Chicago with a grand slam and then a solo home run.
He homered in back-to-back games Wednesday and Thursday. Takes ball 2. Adam Wainwright, first-round pick of the Braves back in 2000, and he is from Georgia. He's from Brunswick, Georgia. But then when he was in Double-A, he was traded along with Ray King and Jason Marquis to the Cardinals for J.D. Drew and Eli Marrero. Sure, the Braves wouldn't mind reversing that trade. The pitcher he's become, 141 big league wins.
Well, I just remember why I tuned into a Cardinal game. You know, I guess as a broadcaster, if you're not working, of course you do all the games, but you know you're flipping channels. And in 2011, he missed the whole year after winning 20 games. I mean, with a 2.42 ERA, one of the best pitchers in the National League. Again, after going 19-8 the year before, so he was on a roll. And then you don't know about your career. I heard the interview. It was one of the greatest interviews I've ever seen because it wasn't about him. And of course, they asked him about how the transplant ligament surgery went, but he was just talking about being with the team every day and trying to be supportive. And of course, you know, the Cardinals have a great history of winning, and you could just see that this guy, you know, is about what, you know, a lot of the teams that I played on, where it's, hey, what can we do? So he's had a great career.
Castillo takes a walk. So the Orioles have 2 on with nobody down. And here's the home versus road ERAs.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, and you know, huge difference. You know, this year it's the 288 to you know, almost over 7 runs a game. And of course, the first thing you say, well, what kind of ballpark? You know, we know Camden Yards is a pitcher's nightmare. What kind of ballpark do they have in St. Louis? And they go with, no, it's fair to both. But maybe just more comfortable because you know it. You know the mounds. Even though the mounds are supposed to be the same, they're not all the same.
Ball 1 to Hyun-Soo Kim. Wainwright staring in at the home plate umpire Tony Randazzo. He does not like the strike zone, and now Yadier Molina saying something to the umpire.
Yeah, well, you don't know if he's just having a bad day because he's missed low pitches. That was a high cutter. You know, Holberg last night had a tight strike zone. Maybe this crew has that. But it doesn't seem that Randazzo's given either the low pitch or the high pitch. And Adam Wainwright at 35, and you know, after the Tommy John losing a lot of velocity because he used to throw in the mid-90s, it makes it a little more difficult when you're more of a finesse guy. And there's Eric Lillquist is pitching coach, and of course he was, you know, a good pitcher in his own right, but a left-hander. He knows. You want to. There's such a big difference. Not that Wainwright can't pitch backwards, in other words, get behind, but boy, wouldn't you like to be ahead? And there's Carlos Martinez who can pitch any way he wants with that kind of stuff. talk about wow stuff. That kid last night is something.
Kim has a 3-game hitting streak going.
And then trying to run it away and get him to chase.
And Kim doesn't chase. He'll get fooled on occasion, as all hitters do, but he's got a very good batting eye. He's got Scope at second, Castillo at first, and nobody down.
And there's a cutter, and he had no interest in swinging at that. Take a look at our Coons.com, and I mean, look at the percentage of breaking ball thrown to hitters in the American League on the right to the Orioles. So wouldn't you kind of say, because everybody else, they don't get as many? Orioles a pretty good fastball hitting club, and what did he throw? He threw him a cutter, and there's a curveball, 2-1. So that's kind of what Wainwright's about, and not all pitchers can do this. But as Buck Showalter would say, there are no such thing now as fastball counts, and those numbers kind of, especially to the Orioles.
Jim Coons, AL League leaders. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. 2-2 the count on Kim. Outside. See, there's the good eye. All 3.
Really good eye. And it's outside. Obviously, and Randazzo's not going to give him that pitch because he's making pitchers throw the ball over the plate. And I didn't like that, especially when you get older. You want a guy that gives you 2 or 3 inches off the outside corner. We saw that. Paul Emmel was doing that in Chicago.
And a chopper right past Wayne Kirby. Hunsu in his hitting streak, 4 out of 10, and he has 3 RBIs in the 3-game streak. And again, when you don't play every day, hitting 3 in a row is a good accomplishment.
Well, the Chris Davis injury, and again against righties, he's going to be playing. And I'll keep saying this. A lot of people were critical. He didn't drive in a lot of runs, but he did hit over 300 runners in scoring position and 300 batting average last year.
Breaking ball's hit towards second base. DeYoung goes to second.
Well, was he on?
And out is the call at second.
Yeah, and Buck Showalter kind of looking out at home plate, but not looking back down. So the good thing is, you don't get a double play ball. You're going to get the lead runner, or at least one of them. And yeah, it looked like he dragged the toe across. Diaz able to stay. So the throw a little bit off, but got the right toe on the top of the bag.
So Castillo is forced. That sends Scope to third. And Kim now on at first, so a fly ball can get a run in.
Well, either that or JJ last year, getting bat speed's gone down. I mean, they had a big article in the Sun about how the percentage of soft hits the lowest since 2011. But if you're thinking right field, it's hard to double him up, and you can get a run in. So again, yeah, you're trying to get the ball either in the air, or there's a huge hole between first and second. I mean, right there, and that's what we saw JJ last year, the ability, even though the home runs have gone down dramatically, to be able to drive the ball the other way. And of course, Wainwright's thinking double play or maybe a pop-up, and almost hit him.
Adam Wainwright, 35. He's 6'7", 235.
He's a tall kid. Well, actually, young man, grown man. What do we call somebody 35? We call him young man if you're 71, but I mean, a little extra. Yeah, good movement. Two-seamer, but up in the zone.
One thing Wainwright usually does is keep the ball in the ballpark. A little unusually allowed back-to-back home runs in the first inning. JJ fights it off to stay alive. He had allowed just 1 home run total in his last 7 starts, and that was Scooter Gennett in Cincinnati the night that Gennett hit the 4 home runs in the game. Gennett hit the grand slam off Wainwright. So that was the last home run he allowed, and only 1 in the last 7 games until Jones and Trumbo went back-to-back in the first. But as Jim mentioned, JJ is not hitting home runs as he once did. He has just 3. Line drive and a base hit to left center field. That'll get it done. Here's Scope to score. It goes all the way to the wall. And Kim's going to be sent by Bobby Dickerson. No relay to the plate. That's a 2-run double for Hardy. And the Orioles now have a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, I don't know how many. I mean, I learned, you know, he's almost at what, about 1,850 innings. And as long as you go out to the mound, you don't want to speed up bats. So he threw a fastball by him, he hangs a curveball, and all bets are off because it speeds up the bat. It wasn't in a good place, very similar to the one that he threw to Jones for the home run. And JJ doesn't miss it. Again, you try, at least you make an attempt. If either Molina with all those gold gloves or a pitcher, you're going, okay, he's late on the fastball. Do I want to throw him a breaking ball? Well, they do. And J.J. Hardy makes him pay for it.
So Hardy, who had 1 RBI the entire month of June, picks up 2 on that double. And there's a ball hit hard to the second baseman, DeYoung, who catches it before it hits the ground. So he denies Seth Smith of a base hit and 2 men down.
Yeah, nice at bat.
And this weekend, the Orioles are wearing special Father's Day uniforms that will be autographed and authenticated. You can bid on these items at Orioles.com/auctions. The proceeds will benefit the Orioles Charitable Foundation and the Prostate Cancer Discovery Fund of the Brady Urological Institute of Johns Hopkins Medicine. The bidding will close Saturday, June 24th at 10 p.m. And they are sweet-looking uniforms. So you definitely want to add
so I assume
that to your collection.
They'll be wearing them tomorrow.
Yep.
So if they win today and tomorrow, Lance Lynn pitching tomorrow, will they maybe, can you keep wearing them?
No.
Why?
Well, it's MLB. Wear them today, wear them tomorrow. Prostate cancer awareness, and then Monday back to your regular uniforms.
We won't be aware of prostate cancer on Monday?
Well, we will be.
If you're hot, you're hot.
Uniforms.
Well, come on.
Manny Machado to the gap. Deep it goes, and that ball, it's gone! It got into the bullpen! Machado crushes it. And it's a 4-run inning for the O's. And a 6-1 lead.
Yeah, I'm sure Adam Wainwright, I mean, obviously he doesn't want to cut fastball in the middle of the plate after hanging a curveball to Hardy. But if you don't pitch here, and this is again his debut at Camden Yards or against the Orioles, period, you think that's going to be a double. But not in this ballpark, not on a warm Saturday afternoon. That ball just sails out of here.
Yep. Manny can do a dance. That's sweet with the struggles he's had. And here's Adam Jones, and he'll foul it back.
Yeah, again, I mean, check it out. I mean, it's just a cutter, ends up in the middle of the plate, and you know it's going to be extra base hits. It just screams into the. How about the bullpen? You know, usually Darren O'Day's got the glove, but he's on the DL, and they're dodging.
I think I would have dodged that. That ball was smoked.
Well, yeah, you didn't. You had what about it? Maybe 2 seconds to get your glove and try to get it on, or choose to get out of the way.
Our Maryland lottery contestant of the game, Christopher Nordby of Columbia, having a big day. 3 home runs already, so another $500 to Christopher.
I'm trying to think who in the corner. Was that Brad Brock, who maybe almost took one? Yeah.
Yeah, there's Brad, Jet in the middle, and Michael Givens.
So Brad, why couldn't you pitch? Well, I got hit on a 1-hopper by Machado, and a home run in the second inning. 113 miles per hour.
.3 launch angle.
Yeah, line drive. Well, I'll give you an idea. Line drive's 15 degrees. Ooh.
And Adam is hit by a pitch. And he is in some discomfort. And here comes Richie Bancells and Buck. And while this is going on, Derek Littlequist is going to come out and have a chat with Wainwright.
Yeah, I mean, already beaten up, you know, ankles, hips, you name it. Did he get the back leg? I thought it got the back leg. I mean, you could. I mean, that's just, again, it's a backdoor cutter, and no, he got the top of the left calf. A little delayed reaction until he goes down, and it goes. I mean, again, if you've ever been hit, you know, a lot of nerves that run through your leg right below the knee. It appears to be all right. Yeah, no history here. I mean, usually if you give up three home runs and then you inadvertently hit somebody, Tyler Lyons getting up. Especially if you were playing the Red Sox, you know, the warnings would be out and all that kind of stuff. It just looked like it was a breaking ball that got away. And
well, the way Jones reacted, he knew that.
Yeah. Well, I think there were a lot of situations. You know, when Gausman got tossed in Boston with a breaking ball, you know, hitting Bogarts. Bogarts knew he didn't throw at him.
Line drive. That's going to be in for a base hit. And Adam will pull up at second base as Huffman gets to it quickly. Well, the Orioles, Jim, one of the best teams in the American League, scoring runs with 2 men out.
Well, that's how the game in Chicago, Jim. You know, when they were trailing 5-4, the inning that Wellington Castillo hit the grand slam, that all came with 2 outs.
Well, in this game, 4 of the 6 runs have been driven in with 2 down. And the Orioles 4th in the American League, the fourth most runs with 2 men down. They had 130 of those coming into the game, and they've added to that here. Mancini bounced out to third his first at bat, looking to extend the hitting streak to 8 in a row. Fouls it back.
Yeah, there. I mean, how about that for a rookie? And it's almost like the acuteness of the at bats. Just some pretty heady people. I mean, you know, Solarte, just saw him before he went over the National League. And of course, anytime you're in any group of Miguel Cabrera.
That's going to slice back out of play. Trade down in the count, of ball and 2 strikes. So Mancini now with 11 home runs. He has 35 RBIs. He trails Jonathan Scope by just 1 for the team lead. He has found a home in this lineup. He has 2 on with 2 down. Here is the 9th batter to hit here. That ball's hit hard. Base hit in the left field. Adam Jones is going to come around to score. That ball got by Pham. Here's Trumbo being sent. He's going to come around to score. A 2-run double for Mancini, and the O's are laying it on Wainwright.
Well, again, they always talk about exit velocity. There have been some serious exit velocity by the Oriole hitters so far this afternoon. It's 109 miles per hour. And again, Pham, I mean, he's playing fairly shallow, maybe because you know, wants to cut off a run at the plate, and he hits it so hard it goes all the way to the wall, and Trumbo scores from first. And then Fowler's going to cut it off, but and Mike Matheny is going to have to come out and make a pitching change. 6 runs in the second.
And that's going to do it for Adam Wainwright, who will be knocked out after 1 2/3. This pitching change is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube stores now do brake services. Stop in and let Jiffy Lube perform a free brake inspection today. 2/3, 7 hits, 8 earned runs. He walked one, he struck out one, 47 pitches, and he gets only 5 outs. So the Orioles turning the tables on Adam Wainwright here today. And here is lefty Tyler Lyons, the Cardinals, Jim, one of 8 relievers in that pen.
Yeah, again, and you know, this is for any team. I mean, this is what you want to do. You want to get the starter out of there, whether it's Wainwright or whatever, and you know, do your damage. But you kind of like the fact that you got a lot of good pitches to hit, and you didn't miss them.
So Mancini with a 2-run double. He is now the Orioles leader in RBIs as he passes Jonathan Schoop. He is 37, and here is Schoop, who led off this inning, got it going with a single.
Yeah, right center field. Just took a little cutter, served it to right.
So the Orioles with a crooked number inning, and a light rain is falling.
It's raining runs, Jim.
And a bouncer foul. Well, the run differential by inning, this is opposite of what the Cardinals season has been. Usually they're really good early, a +36, and then from the 4th inning on, a -41. The difference reversed here today for Adam Wainwright and the Cardinals as the Orioles have an 8-1 lead. And Schoop a swing and a miss. So 10 men come to bat. Manny's laser beam home run excited the crowd. And another base hit. Hit very hard. Being sent as Mancini. The throw is up the line, and Mancini comes in to score. And Schoop says, "Up, you passed me on the RBI list. I just tied you."
Yeah, well, Chad Huffman didn't want to play it into a double, so he had to take a step back. And the minute the ball drops, and with 2, again, all these runs coming with 2 outs, again, you're going on the crack of the bat, and there's no way to throw them out. And again, maybe not as much arm strength as you would like from a regular right fielder. So again, 2 base hits today. So 100 off the bat. So again, he's got to wait to make sure he catches it. And meanwhile, Trey Mancini scores the 9th run. 7 runs now in the 2nd inning.
And all those runs will be charged to Wainwright. Mancini was the last batter he faced. 3 home runs and 9 earned runs on 9 base hits. But 8 base hits off Wainwright, 1 here off Lyons. Some big hits in this inning. And what's encouraging is even though the Orioles have hit 3 home runs, they have the 2-run doubles, both by Hardy and Mancini, as Castillo waves at it and misses 1 and 2. Trumbo has homered here today. He's 2 for 2 with a couple of runs scored. It looks like a lot of the Orioles breaking out in the same game. Wade Miley's got to be loving this. What a good take. He doesn't mind. He's been on the bench a long time.
Well, that's why when you do come out, get your warm-ups, really got to focus use on them as well as you can. Only get 9.
Strike 3 called. And the inning comes to an end, but a big inning for the Orioles as they score 7. J.J. Hardy, a 2-run double. He ripped it to the gap in left center field. Then Manny, a laser beam home run, a line drive that carries into the bullpen. And Trey Mancini with a 2-run double to the gap. And the Orioles now with a 9-1 lead. 4-game series right here at Oriole Park. And on Wednesday, all fans receive a Dylan Bundy t-shirt. Now, good seats remain, and they're available for as low as $15. So come on out and join us. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Mr. Bundy will have his t-shirt. Manny with a home run. Maybe that'll break him out of it. Perfect swing, line drive, and it carried into the bullpen. His 13th home run on the year. So now Miley goes back to work looking for a shutdown inning. There's a chopper towards short, but Manny cuts in front. And he'll get Fowler and 1 down. So how about this, Jim, for Adam Wainwright? Today was his 268th career start. And this is the first time in his career he did not go at least 2 innings. As the Orioles got to him and knocked him out. The 1 down. Here's Jose Martinez. Fastball for a called strike.
Now we'll see that if Wade Miley, one of the keys was trust your stuff, and it's a little easier to do that when you have an 8-run lead. Not that you're going to throw it down the middle, but yeah, he was talking about maybe, I don't know, 5-6 weeks ago. He said, you know, last year when I got over and signed with the Orioles, my ERA until the last couple of starts was over 6 runs a game, and he said this year I'm going to try to make better pitches, and he has. The problem is that sometimes just not enough of them in the strike zone.
Well, he has just the 2 wins. He won on June the 1st against the Red Sox. He pitched the opening game in that 4-game series. And then Alec Asher won the next night.
But it's very hard to win games when you're only pitching 5 innings, and you know, and then they don't score a lot of runs.
There's Alec. He's now in the bullpen, but Showalter made that change yesterday. Ubaldo Jimenez goes back in the rotation.
And I just think it works better for the Orioles because he can pitch more frequently. And you hope Ubaldo. See ya.
Strike 3 call.
Yeah, perfect pitch right there, inside corner. You know, early in the year he was pitching in, and then when Wellington and Castillo went down, Caleb Joseph says you got a pretty good sinker, so he's very comfortable pitching on the inside corner, and you can see that ball really right over. So the plate is 17 inches, and if you can get the edge of the ball, you can make the plate about 2 inches wider on both sides.
So looking for a 3-up 3-down inning. Ball 1 to Jerko, who flied out to right his first at bat. Well, the Orioles have gone through 23 pitchers this year. 23 pitchers that pitched in a game, which is tied for 3rd most in the American League. Seattle has already gone through 29 different pitchers. Minnesota has gone through 24, and Buck's team is tied with the Angels at 23. So Roger McDowell has had a lot of players to tutor.
A nice little 2-seamer with good movement. Well, Ubaldo went what? He went to the bullpen on May 28th. The rotation's ERA since has been 8.35, and they went through 8 relievers in 16 days. Up and down and up and down. I was talking to Hank Allen, who, you know, brother Richie Allen, you know, longtime player, scout. I said, just imagine if you're one of the guys going up and back, the extra pressure it puts on you. If I'm not good today, I won't be here tomorrow.
Popped them up. Mancini out. Here comes Seth Smith. Seth Smith falls down, and it falls in. And there's a gift hit for Jed Jerko.
Yeah, and you hope he didn't hurt his back. You know, talk about Seth Smith, and you know, U.S. Open is going on. You know, the U.S. Open golf, and you can see a little divot right here. So again, this is probably where the inexperience at first base, but that ball's in short right field. And then once you go down, no chance of catching it. Yeah, Trey's not going to catch it, nor is Seth Smith when feet come out from under him. Good news is that Martinez didn't get a double. Excuse me, Jerko didn't get a double.
Here's Molina, and he'll swing through it. Fastball. Molina reached on an error that got the Cardinals running with 2 down in the first on a hard hit ball that got by Scope.
Yeah, and I'm surprised Jerry Davis don't umpires sometimes, depending on righty and lefty pitchers, move on the other side of the bag. He was the second base umpire. I mean, he's kind of right in line where
the pitch is.
Yeah, where Miley's throwing the ball. I really don't pay attention to that because I never really worried. I worried more about the hitter, but I would think if you're Chris Sale, you'd be thrown right out of the umpire's uniform.
Well, very often you do see hitters request the umpire to move, and they will.
Well, I'd ask Scope, since I don't think he saw the other ball.
That's going to fall in for a base hit. So that bloop into right as the Cardinals going here now. 2 on with 2 down. So again, the 3 up 3 down inning eluding Wade Miley. In the second, he got the first 2, walked the batter, then got the final out. Although here he could be out of the inning if Smith didn't slide and fall down.
Well, he could also, if he hadn't walked 2 guys in the first, and Scope maybe have seen the ball that maybe was blocked by Jerry Davis, he'd have a shutout. Diaz, if you were with us last night, 17 home runs last year.
Ledmy's Diaz out of Cuba. Down and in. 1-1 the count. Well, Miley's been real good in these situations this year. 2 men down in an inning, runner in scoring position. Opponents are batting just 172. And it's fouled into the Oriole dugout over by the camera well.
Yeah, you love these counts if you're pitching because now you don't have to throw him a strike. Go, young hitter, as you mentioned, out of Cuba. Hope to get him to chase. Don't have to come in really in the strike zone. Try to get him to expand it for you.
And he popped them up. Scope will call off Mancini. And the inning ends. So Miley works around those 2 base hits. We head to the bottom of the third. Birds come back to bat, leading it 9-1. Well, the Orioles enjoying their afternoon, leading at 9-1, 2 in the first on back-to-back home runs by Jones and Trumbo. And then 11 batters in the second. The Birds score 7 times. They chase Adam Wainwright, and now they're into that Cardinal bullpen early. Tyler Lyons on. He got the final out in the second after he allowed the inherited runner to score. And here's Hyun-Soo Kim, the leadoff. Breaking ball for a strike. Another strike.
Yeah, nice
bottom of the zone.
Yeah, sweep and hook.
Lance Lynn will pitch tomorrow in the finale. And Ubaldo Jimenez, now back in the rotation, will go for the O's. There's Ubaldo on the bench.
Yeah, he'll throw, I mean, over 50% of those. Got him between a slider and a slurve. Out of Lubbock, Texas.
Strike 3 call right down the middle. So he had Hyun-Soo thinking about the breaking ball, and he got a fastball by him.
Yeah, again, he's not a hard thrower at 90, but you know, again, can you get left-handers out, and can you throw strikes? Starter coming up through the minor leagues. So again, he's got some experience and of knowing that you got to throw strikes and stay out of the middle of the plate. Always been a strike thrower.
JJ with a big 2-run double in that rally. He drove in the first runs in that 7-run inning. Perfect pitch on the outside corner, 1-1. So if the Orioles win this one, they can set themselves up to win the series by winning tomorrow. Earlier this year, they were really taking care of business in their series. They've lost 3 in a row, including the 1-game series for the makeup game in D.C. That does count as a series. Their last series win was when they swept the Pirates in the 2-gamer, coming back in each game. It was on June 6th and 7th here at Camden Yards, and both those games were extra inning wins. Got him on a slow breaking ball. So 3 consecutive strikeouts for Tyler Lyons and 2 down.
Well, it's 9-1, but your job description doesn't change if you're a long man. That is to get them out until your team either comes back or has a chance to come back. And it's not a thankless job, because it's, you know, if you prove that you can pitch in these situations, you're going to have a job pretty much every year. When he got to the big leagues as a starter, he went 9-5 down to AAA in 2015, and then came to the big leagues at the end of the year. 17 games that year, 30 last year. And again, if you're left-handed, can you get lefties out? And for the Orioles, you can see it. I mean, Kim doesn't hit against left-handers. Smith doesn't hit against lefties. So if he, there's 2 guys that you can get out, and if you can get some right-handers out, it does give your team a chance to come back. And if you're sitting at home and go, well, you know, when do you ever lose games where you have 9-1 leads? Well, let's go back to April 28th in New York. 9-1, 11-4 against the Yankees. Now, maybe a little different offense. Yankees #1 in the American League. The Cardinals number 12th, but long guys are invaluable.
Adam Jones with the skipper on the bench. Adams' home run in the first tied the game at 1. The Orioles, they've really been struggling at the plate. In our open, we talked about the Birds since June the 3rd. It's a broken bat. And it's to the second baseman, and I just committed the Cardinal rule, Jim. Don't start a story with 2 men down. We head to the 4th with the Birds in front. to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, by University of Maryland University College, and by visitannapolis.org. Create your moment at visitannapolis.org. A beautiful Saturday afternoon, and some of the little sisters of the poor enjoying the game here today. Good to have them with us here at the ballpark. They do such great work for the elderly. Wade Miley with a 9-1 lead.
So what was that story you were starting?
I was going to make the point that,
and I will now,
going into that Red Sox series, the Orioles were 5th in the league in batting, and in those 13 games since, they dropped to 9th. As this ball's hit towards the corner, and that's a fair ball. So Tony Pham around first, he'll head the second with a double leading off here. And that's a pretty dramatic drop in a 2-week span to go from 5th to 9th in team batting. So the hope is that maybe with this effort here today, with several struggling hitters breaking out in the same day, that now the Orioles can get some consistency back.
Well, you'd like to sync it up, and if you also go back and they play the Red Sox, then they go to New York, and they're not in those games, so I think it's no excuse, but it is harder to focus when you're giving up 5 and 6 runs in the first innings, and getting beat by a touchdown and a field goal, which is what happened in New York.
Well, ball 1 as it bounces in there to Huffman.
But again, if you're the Cardinals, you want to get back into this game, and Lyons can help them do it. And the other factor is that Buck Showalter's sitting over there. We got 9 runs for Wade Miley. We hope that one of the keys of the game was give us some length. In other words, go deep into the game. And the reason you want that is because you don't want to have to go to Givens, and you don't want to have to go to Brock, and you don't want to go to the mainstays of your bullpen until late, if ever. And you can have them for tomorrow, so you can win the series. So what do the Cardinals want to do? They want to get Givens in earlier, so maybe he'll have to pitch multiple innings, and maybe not available tomorrow. So that's why the Cardinals aren't done, and Wade Miley's got to just kind of go into the prevent defense, throw strikes. If you give up a run, make it 1, not 2, and take your chances.
Foul tip and straight down at the plate. Well, if the score dictates that Buck can avoid using Givens and Brock today, he could always go to Miguel Castro, who has a lot of experience late in games. And he pitched pretty well when he rejoined the team in Chicago. And
well, the throwing strikes, but
Miguel.
Not a lot of experience, right? Wouldn't you say?
Well, he was the Blue Jays closer at one time.
For about a week. Well, come on. I mean, he's not an experienced reliever, but compared to O'Day, compared to I mean that's what the norm is in Baltimore, and we can agree to disagree.
My point being is that if the score dictates, Castro comes in, and then Givens and Brock are available tomorrow.
Right. But I'm telling you right now, and it's not that Miguel hasn't pitched fairly well, because he has. He's thrown strikes. But they'd like to see him. They'd rather see him earlier than Givens, who's been outstanding. And,
Strike 3 called.
Oh,
very late and dramatic call there.
Well, again, the sun came back out, and we did have a little bit of mist, and so the shadows are there. And this is the first time that any questionable strike has gone the pitcher's way. Wainwright threw some pitches that were close. Miley early. This ball is definitely low. And he only brought it up, about 3-4 inches. And Chad Huffman is doing exactly what he's supposed to do, which is take a borderline pitch that was a ball and go down to first, and they call him out. So there's a break for the O's.
Huffman shaking his head. Here's Paul DeYoung, the number 9 batter.
Well, it works both ways. If you're a pitcher, you make your pitches, you want the umpire to call it. And if you're a hitter, you want to say, okay, I know the strike zone, and I can discern between balls and strikes. But what happens in this game, as you know, and I think anybody that's ever watched the game or ever played the game, is that every umpire's strike zone is different. But what you don't like is what just happened is that a ball in the first inning became a strike here in the fourth. Now, Wade Miley wants to take his glove off and start applauding, which, you know, that may show up the umpire.
Well, anytime you see a catcher and Wellington Castillo moved his glove about 1.5 feet, it gives you an idea. Probably wasn't a strike. This is skied to deep right center field. Adam Jones back, and that ball's going to go. Paul DeJong going the opposite way, and that makes it 9-3.
Yeah, again, a hanging slider for a home run to left off of Kevin Gausman after he hit a bullet to right the first time. He got 3 for 4 last night. But what's this? It's really not that bad a pitch. I mean, it's away. But what's your approach? He had 22 home runs in Double-A, so he's got some pop. He's only playing because Kelton Wong went back on the DL, and all of a sudden they crawl 2 runs closer. And you can get an idea of how the ball is carrying here. Small park anyway. So 2 home runs, and now what, already 4 hits.
So that strike 3 call the Huffman even bigger.
Yeah, huge.
Miley has now allowed 9 home runs on the year. See that pitch count starting to mount here.
Yeah, and I think if you're a veteran like Wade is, you don't like to give up the 2 runs, but you still got to throw strikes. I mean, that was just a quality at bat. And Roger McDowell knows that. It wasn't like he got behind 2-0, 2-1, had to throw a strike, and he was waiting. He had a good pitch.
And Carpenter fouls it off. He walked and scored in the first, then grounded out to end the second. Miley does not yet have a clean inning, a 3-up, 3-down inning. Two walks and an error reached in the first, a walk in the second, 2 hits with 2 down in the third, and a double and a home run here in the fourth. Strike 3 called. Fastball up and easy. Carpenter doesn't like it.
Well, the strike zone's changed a little bit. I mean, this is a guy with a, I mean, he walked 81 times, 95 times. He thinks he knows the strike zone. And once again, how do you receive the ball? Watch the glove come back up into the strike zone. Probably low. But what hitters and pitchers don't like, again, is the changing zone.
The floating zone.
Yeah. Well, you just don't know. You want it to be the same. I mean, I remember Tommy McCraw was the Oriole hitting coach, and he was, you know, a good hitter in his own right. He said, it's not your strike zone, it's theirs. But you want theirs to be consistent. That's all.
And that to me is something I've never understood.
No, not that they're different. I know you don't understand that. I mean, the rule book says this.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, the rule book, it's just suggesting it. That's the way I've always looked at it. Because I pitched for 20 years and I know some guys' strike zones were different.
The rule book strike zone you never see.
No. Well, the pitchers would love that strike zone.
And
from the top of the knees to the letters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think pitchers might embrace that.
Especially a high fastball pitcher like Jim Palmer. Yeah. I mean, Buck Showalter, his theory about umpires is that some hunt balls and some hunt strikes. And at least early on here, it looks like Randazzo's hunting strikes. Strikeout ends it. Cardinals get 2. It's a 9-3 game. Wheel drive RAV4. Toyota, what drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great details. And there's a rainbow out there, Jim.
Well, you mean the 9 runs on the Orioles scoreboard, or oh, you mean over Camden Yards?
We're over downtown Baltimore anyway.
Yeah, right. Well, there's a rain ball over the Orioles scoreboard too.
It rained runs in the first 2 innings.
Yes, it did.
And here's Mr. Machado, who hit a laser beam 2-run home run. Now Manny, his last multi RBI game prior to today was May the 4th in Boston. And he has 2 RBIs here today, so he joins the 30 RBI club now with 31 on his 13th home run. And his first home run since June 3rd. Here's Chris Davis, who's still bothered by the oblique strain, waiting for that to quiet down and the swelling to go down before he can resume baseball activities. Get a look at Machado's home run back in the second. This got out of here in a hurry.
Yeah, you don't want to pitch him in the middle of the plate, and that's where it ends up. And it, again, what'd you say? The launch angle was 15 and point whatever 8%,
which is low.
Which well, a line drive's 15, so it was just enough to get over that wall.
It was right on that breaking ball. Right now, it's got to be a little tougher for the hitter to see because the pitcher is in the shadows because of the light stanchion, and then there's the sun in between, and then the plate is in the shadow.
Well, this is more typical of what happens. They used to actually play 4:35 games here, so now it's what 5:30. But when you get the sun is kind of broken through,
and there's a base hit down the line. Machado's back into the corner. It goes. Back-to-back outstanding at bats for Manny. A home run, now a double.
Well, again, it's a little hanging breaking ball, and he just smokes it down the line, hooks it. So this is 114. Great angle right there. Gives you an idea of what playing third base. So wait, so if you're Jed Jerko, 114-mile-per-hour rocket just went by you. That's why they call it the hot corner. Almost had it. I told him today, I had a little talk with him about, not expanding the strike zone, and again, you got to be patient and all that. So I saw him today because that was before the game on Thursday game in Chicago, and then didn't have success last night because that was kind of hard against Carlos Martinez. So I looked at him today and I said, sometimes it's going to take a couple of days, and he just laughed at me. But again, he's got to get back to what makes him so good. As and you've talked about it with Adam Jones. It's great to be aggressive in certain counts, but at the end of the day, when a team like the Cardinals come in and you're chasing, what do they say? Hey, don't have to throw them strikes. It does make it easier. But today they've gotten strikes to hit, or at least early on. And again, Manny last year, you'd be talking to the cage, 30 home runs a year before, end up with 37 last year. And he said, yeah, I'm taking the pitches I used to swing at. So you kind of have to get back to that. And the biggest problem is when you're hitting 214, 220, whatever it is, not where you want to be. If you take a walk, your average doesn't go up. But it certainly goes down if you swing at balls. So again, it's a 2-month process, and see where you stand when getting into August 1st.
Well, and I think that's the best point you just made, because with Manny, he's a very important hitter on this team. He's a middle of the lineup hitter, and he is going to hit for power, and he's going to have run production. So forget about the batting average. Just from this day forward, just worry about the run production, because it looks like the confidence is back after that home run. And once you get back in the zone, you swing at better pitches.
Well, the other thing is, he is only 24, turned 25 in early July.
Adam Jones with a base hit to center field. And Manny's going to be held as Fowler got to it quickly.
Yeah, he kind of deked him a little bit, but again, nobody out. It's 9-3 now. You got the heart of the lineup. You got a guy that's already hit a home run and a single. So again, hit very hard. You do not want to get thrown out at home plate. So they put the brakes on, but again, came around third. So
Again, a lot of balls with great exit velocity. What the league averages, a couple of years ago it was 77. The ball is, they're telling me the test didn't show it, but the ball's more lively. That's up to what, about 87 miles per hour, I think, is the exit velocity now.
Here's Mark Trumbo, who's 2 for 2. 4 Orioles already have multi-hit games in this game. And a swing and a miss, and it gets away, and Machado's going to score. And Jones to second base. So the O's get a run on the wild pitch.
Yeah, even the Gold Glovers sometimes can't glove the breaking ball. And it's again, normally you're going to block this ball. And it's certainly catchable. But he doesn't block it, and it gets by him, and the Orioles get exactly what they want. Not only the run, the 10th run of the day, but they also get another runner into scoring position with nobody out.
So the O's get one of the 2 runs back. The Cardinals got top half of this inning. Strike on the corner. Trumbo with 2 hits today. He leads the Orioles. He now has 24 multi-hit games.
Yeah, the big difference is that last year he had 180 fly balls and 47 of them went out of the ballpark. Highest percentage ever of home runs on fly balls for him. I mean, obviously you got to hit fly balls to hit home runs, unless you hit a couple of line drive home runs. And there's a big breaking ball and a good one. So they can't advance the runner, and you get a nice strikeout. Tyler Lyons doing a nice job here.
Man, that is some break. Made
and
a
also,
right turn.
Yeah, and also it's getting tough to see. But I will say this: even if it's tough to see, if you pitch in the middle of the plate, as we saw with the first 2 hitters, you're going to give up some runs.
Here's Trey Mancini. He'll take a strike.
Well, you can see from Lyons that you can see that he's been a starter at some point, because he can turn it over, and he's got a 2-seamer, and I don't know if he's got a cut fastball. Haven't seen that yet, but a nice little breaking ball. And he'll change speeds on that. It's a little slower one. It's funny, when we were in Chicago, I was asking Steve Stone, and Stone, he does the television. He's been there, what, 10 years, won over 100 games, won a Cy Young.
Last Orioles Cy Young Award.
Yeah, 25-7 in 1980. And I said, did any of the pitchers ever talk to you? He said, it's interesting. The other day on the plane, Jose Quintana, who went into that game that we talked about earlier where he beat Toronto, he said he tapped me on the shoulder. And he said, can we talk? And Stevie talked about changing speeds with your curveball and, whatever. And he said, but that's maybe the only pitcher that's ever done that. So it worked in Toronto last night.
Well, Don Cooper, their pitching coach, has such a good reputation. I guess they just figure, well, I'm just going to go to him. But when you got a guy that won a Cy Young Award and knew how to navigate through a season, that's a wealth of information there. And Mancini goes down on strike. So back-to-back Ks, 2 men down.
Yeah, quality breaking balls. Again, he got the one to Manny in the middle of the plate. He rifled it over the bag. This one, of course, it starts off the outside portion of the plate. And I mean, this is what you do. It's close enough to be a strike, but ends up a ball. Quality breaker.
Stoney was talking about the Orioles, of course, were in not only a team slump when they got to Chicago, but the starters were in a slump until Bundy won the game on Wednesday night. The last starter win was way back on June the 2nd. And I asked him in the radio pregame show, I said, as a starter, how do starters as a staff break a slump? And he said, well, they don't, because it's about individuals. The individuals have to go out. They have to pitch their game. They have to pitch well. And then it's up to the guy the next day. And Bundy went out, and he won the game. And Jonathan Schoop to center field. That ball's going to go. And that ball is into the Oriole bullpen. Schoop has a 3 RBI game, and the Orioles now laying it on St. Louis.
Well, they're trying to catch the Cardinals, who had 5 home runs. They've already outscored them. And the Cardinals beating the Orioles last night 11-2. Well, we talked about making good pitches. Lyons is not overpowering enough, and the minute he moves the ball in the middle of the plate, trouble is brewing. Jonathan Scope, home run number 12. And then you can add a couple more RBIs.
So the Orioles with 4 home runs in this game. And this one got out in a hurry.
I think the clobbered is another good term. Don't use it too often. Clobbers it. Albeit, well, just like last night, the Cardinals, they massaged the ball quite well.
The Orioles team high for home runs in a game is 5. They have 4 here today. Birds hit 5 home runs in Boston on April 12th. They scored 12 runs in that game. Trumbo has homered here tonight, this afternoon. On the outside corner for called strike. 2-2 on Wellington, who has walked and struck out. So the O's have scored in 3 of their 4 at-bats. And Castillo goes down on strikes and tagged out by Yadier Molina. Now Jonathan Scope with a 3 RBI game. He caps off the 4th with a 2-run home run, his 12th of the year. PNC for the achiever in you.
Well, again, you just hope that number one, he stays healthy, and obviously, you know, last year he got shut down because of shoulder soreness in June. So, you know, again, a young pitcher, a hard thrower, left-hander, which gives you you certainly like. You know, they got him from Houston for international signing bonuses that the Orioles don't usually participate in that market, not to any extent. And again, you're looking for starters if somebody goes down.
So the Orioles now with a 12-3 lead, and Miley back to work. He's had to sit through a couple of long innings on the bench as his team was scoring runs, and he's fine with that. Jose Martinez has struck out and walked.
Well, you saw 82 pitches and only 43 strikes versus 39 balls.
Jose Martinez has 3 home runs.
Well, he hit 2 of them last week. But again, I mean, he just looks like he just from line to line. Not that he can't hit home runs, but he's never been a prodigious home run guy. More of a high average hitter.
Real good changeup.
Yeah.
Center field. Jones gliding back to it. And he's got it for the out, 1 down. Well, the Orioles have a streak going they're hoping to end here. Most consecutive games with less than 6 innings pitched by the starter and allowing 4 or more earned runs. The Orioles have done that the last 7 starts, beginning on June the 10th with Chris Tillman's start against the Yankees. The last game in which they've had a quality start was the game before that, June 9th, when Dylan Bundy, despite a loss, had a quality start. 3 innings or 6 innings and 3 runs allowed. So Miley, the pitch count may get him here, though. He's at 87. If he could get through this inning.
No, I don't think that's a problem with Wade. And again, if if he can. It's funny how, if you ever talk to Scotty McGregor, who helped him last year and in spring training, and fellow lefties, stay over the rubber and then drive like that. And again, when he gets to the top of the rubber and then doesn't use his lower left side, in other words, kind of what Zach Britton does, he topples and the ball just goes down. So it's never in the zone. So again, just be patient, stop, and now go.
And strike 3 called.
So the ability, when you do that, it's not about stuff. He can throw 93, 94. It's about command. And there's a rhythm to it. He controls the running game. Nobody can run on him, and that's the perfect pitch. So he gets ahead, and then right around the corner. You can see Jerko looking down. Jed's going, is that really a strike? High home doesn't lie.
Right.
A lot of times you get other angles, maybe. The center field camera may not be exactly in line with home plate.
Molina takes ball 1, curveball missed. Yadier reached on an error in the first that allowed a run to score. Ball hit past Jonathan Scope. He hit a single in the third, a base hit to left field, so he's now hitting 6 straight games. Slice down the right side and back out of play.
Yeah, it's almost like if you watch his windup and you watch the load, and the way he uses his backside, if it doesn't go towards home plate, the ball's going down below the strike zone. And if he just can stay there long enough to sync everything up, he's got a chance to throw strikes. And then when he throws strikes, he gets people out.
Two outs, 2-2 on Molina. That ball's crushed. Adam Jones back on it. That ball's going to go. That's into the Oriole bullpen.
Oh, I'll tell you what. U.S. Open's going on outside of Milwaukee, and here at Camden Yards, balls are getting golfed all over the place.
Home run number 7. He has a 2-hit game, so it's 12-4.
Well, he hit what, 22 or 3 about 3 years ago, but again 93 down and in. He stands off the plate, so again inside corner is kind of down the middle if he's not looking away, and ball goes a long way.
This one is center field. Adam Jones will get back on it, and he puts it away. And the Cardinals get a run on the Molina home run. Mid-5th, 12-4 Birds.
Trying to win game 2 of this 3-game series. Adam Jones, curveball off of Wainwright. First time he ever pitched against the Orioles. Back-to-back home runs. His Trumbo over the center field fence. And then Manny Machado also off of Adam Wainwright line drive into the Oriole bullpen. And then Scope ditto. 2-run shot. 4 home runs in total. 12 runs, 11 hits. Those are your Geico highlights. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save.
Eric Fryer is now in the game. He'll catch. Molina's day is over. Ray Garcia comes in. He's at second base. And DeYoung moves over to the other side, the shortstop.
Yeah, came up through the minor leagues as a shortstop.
Kim to second base, so Garcia tested immediately. And 1 down. Well, home run happy. 6th game with 4 or more home runs. The season high April 12th in Boston, and a win against the Red Sox. Here's J.J. Hardy, who has a couple of RBIs with a double, contributing in that 7-run second inning. Ball 2. Bounce towards third. That is a foul ball. Upstairs, ball 3. So Molina's out of the game and Diaz is now out of the game. And Hardy will take a walk. Lyon, since coming on, has struck out 6. And that's the first walk that he's allowed. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support the American Diabetes Association. The Orioles have drawn 177 walks for a total of $8,850. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and a more active lifestyle. Here's Seth Smith, who is 0 for 3, and he's hit the ball hard twice. All 3 times right at the second baseman. He lined out to second in the second inning in his middle at bat. He's got a 3-game hitting streak going.
Oh, you're just happy he's out there. Yeah, again, experiencing back problems.
Foul ball.
So it's good to see that kind of crash and burn attempt.
John Brebbia, right-hander, getting loose. And there's Alec Asher. So Miley is through 5 innings. He's also thrown 96 pitches on this hot day. The inability to get a 3-up 3-down inning also contributing to the pitch count. Miley's still on the bench.
No, I can't imagine he's tired. It's just a matter. I mean, maybe they're going to bring Asher in.
0-2 on Smith with Hardy at first and 1 down. Check swing. And Smith started walking away. He knew on the appeal he was going to be called out.
Yeah, regardless of what Pat Hobart down at third said, I'm going back to the dugout. Yeah, had a really good swing at the breaking ball in the middle of the plate, but you can see he knows. He's not even looking down there. That was pretty obvious swing, and Hobart agreed with it. Not trying to do your job, Pat. Just I'm going back to the dugout.
Well, that was an obvious swing, and Smith knew it. That wasn't one of those borderlines where you might get the call.
No, you stay exactly where you are. Or as Paul O'Neill, who was a terrific hitter and broadcast for the Yankees on occasion, said, you just hold your breath and you hope you don't hear strike 3.
There's a called strike, 1-1. Well, Manny with a good afternoon. Our StatCast powered by AWS, and there's the lead for Hardy, and he's getting a good lead. He's not being held. Usually JJ's about 2 or 3 feet off the base.
Yeah. Well, he's taking the lead that's appropriate with them playing way behind him, and you know, these are the grind out at bats. You know, can you get that extra hit? You know, you're already 2 for 3. He doubled and homered.
Well, Manny broke an 0 for 9 with the 2-run home run in the second, and he came in just 4 for his last 20. And he's 2 for 3 here today. Hardy at first with 2 down. And towards shortstop, the Young will flip to Garcia, and that will end the inning. Now, 1-out walk does not hurt Tyler Lyons. We are through 5 with the Birds in front. Stone as a volunteer with the Oyster Recovery Partnership, an organization that is an important part of local shell recycling operations. It reclaims used shells, which then are cleaned, aged, seeded, and used to create oyster reefs in the Chesapeake Bay. Now, Blackistone has spent more than 7 years and over 3,200 hours collecting oyster shells from local restaurants and educating the public at outreach events. We thank him for his volunteer service with the Oyster Recovery Partnership. So Wade Miley does stay on, at least to begin the inning, and Tony Pham gets ahead 1-0. Huffman and DeYoung will follow. See, approaching 100 pitches as he begins the 6th inning. Pham doubled and scored his last at bat. Strike on the inside corner. Pham doesn't like the call. Been a lot of that with the Cardinals today.
Well, again, I don't think he likes the fact that he made a perfect pitch away and then came right back to really what his strength up and into the righties. And right there, see that one he didn't stay over the rubber, so it's a ball out of his hand and kind of a wasted pitch. Scotty McGregor used to always say, hey, no hurry. When you're in a windup, you take all day long. Just make sure you load. Stop right there.
There's another perfect pitch.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, he's got a very simple windup, but again, if you rush it, your arm gets stuck way behind you. It drags. Load. Now lose your lower body. Now you're coming. And again, right over your front side. So again, when he's on track, he's and right here, get perfect pitch, perfectly presented by Wellington Castillo, and that's how you get strikeouts.
Now one down on strikeout number 6, and here's Huffman. It's the most strikeouts Miley's had in a game since his start against the Yankees on April 30th. He had 6 in that game. Ground ball towards third. Manny a diving stop, but it comes out of the glove. Popped out.
Yeah, J.J. Hardy's not going to throw out Chad Huffman, and of course, who got called down on a questionable pitch right here. And if he catches it, he may, but boy, does he go a long way. 1, 2, 3, and a steps and a dive, and doesn't come up with it.
So an infield hit for Huffman. Paul DeYoung, the number 9 batter, has walked and hit a 2-run homer. In Cincinnati, when Miley went 8 innings and allowed only 1 run on the home run by Votto, he struck out 11. That's a season high. He's got 6 here today.
Well, he probably has 2 more hitters. I don't know if you're going to bring in Asher to face Carpenter, who's on deck.
And the 2-0 is a called strike.
Yeah, perfect pitch to a guy that's having a great series.
Miley now at 107 pitches. Left-handed batter Carpenter's on deck.
Yeah, we were. Let's go back and talk a little Steve Stone. When I did an interview with him down on the field in Chicago, he was talking about he was taught coming up through the minor leagues, and of course he said, you know, you pitch what 6 innings with your arm and the last 3 innings with your legs. And that makes a good point, because again, you know, you just kind of use your legs to, you know, your arm may get a little fatigued, but again, if your windup's good and your rhythm's good. Right here, they're not running on him. He's got an 8-run lead. Stop. And then there's a quality pitch. Nope, fouled off. I thought he might have struck him out.
Ooh, just got a piece.
Well, big difference if you can do that as a hitter. He ruined a perfect pitcher's pitch.
And he got him.
Yeah, 94. See, so you know, it's an age where Wade Miley's not tired. This is his most velocity on his 110th pitch. Perfectly thrown outside corner. And what did he do? He did exactly what you're supposed to do. He stayed over the rubber. He stayed back, got his arm up, and then, I mean, just extra on the corner. And Paul DeYoung couldn't catch up with it.
Matt Carpenter walked and scored in the first. He has since grounded out and was called out on strikes on a pitch that he thought was a ball.
A couple of low strikes back in the the 4th inning. Strike zone got a little bit big. Wade Miley took advantage of it. Actually gave up a double and a home run, but struck out the side.
Waves at the breaking ball, 0-2. Carpenter's trying to extend a hitting streak to 11 straight. 0 for 2 today. A little bit low. Dexter Fowler and Jed Jerko had the most career at-bats against Miley. Fowler, formerly a Colorado Rocky, and Jerko with the Padres. And when Wade Miley was with that Arizona, they were all in the same division, so they saw each other a lot. Just outside.
Well, there's your high on base percentage now in the strike zone. Lifetime at about what, 380.
So Buck going to the phone to see if Asher's ready.
Well, yeah, but Asher, Fowler's hit all his home runs from the left side. So if Asher comes in, he'll turn around. And the ball is pretty much right down the middle. I mean, he's going, where's the low strike now? Randanzo, the more he umpires, the worse you see that he's just not having a good day, because he's been very inconsistent. And for both teams, you just never know what's going to be a ball and what's going to be a strike. I think Miley really thought he struck out Carpenter. And maybe because of the fact that Matt complained the last time on a questionable pitch, he might have gotten the call there. Not supposed to happen that way, but.
So Carpenter, a pesky at bat. He's about to see a 7th pitch. Huffman was off with the pitch on 3-2. He's back to first. Check swing. Peel to third. He didn't go. So there's a 2-out walk, and that's going to do it for Wade Miley. Here comes Buck. So he tried to get through the 6th inning. Comes up and out short. So we're going to get Alec Asher to come on here in the 6th inning and eat up some innings. Of course, he was in the rotation. So we'll head to the bullpen now. Asher comes on for the O's.
Trying to win his 4th game, and the Orioles, of course, get him a lot of run. Meanwhile, I mean, an assortment of strikeouts, 7 total. And again, using all his pitches in and out, unearned run early, couple of home runs. So he kind of scatters 4 runs through 5 2/3. And then he will leave as Alec Asher comes on. So 117 pitches. Thought he struck out Carpenter, didn't. And Alec Asher, who pitched on Tuesday night, only 1 run in the first 5 innings and then gave up the grand slam to Matt Davidson. So he will come out of the bullpen. And Fowler, who's hit all of his home runs, will turn around and hit left-handed. So the Cardinals, number 1, they get Miley out. Now they have Fowler hitting from his strength.
So 2 on with 2 down, and it's outside 1-0. And Wade Miley talking to Roger McDowell there. He looked a little upset as he was leaving the mound because he thought he had Carpenter struck out. So Asher, who's been in the bullpen this year as well as the rotation, he took Ubaldo's spot in the rotation, but now Ubaldo going back in the rotation in large part, Jim, because of Asher's flexibility and his ability to pitch more often out of the pen.
Yeah. He doesn't need 3 or 4 days rest in between. You know, Ubaldo, it's almost like he was starting. And again, when your other starters aren't pitching as well as they are capable of starting, you just run out of arms, and you're running guys up and back and forth from the minor leagues. Some guys are doing all right. Wright came up, pitched well, got hurt, so he's on the DL. And Buck's thinking right now, okay, what happens? You know, again, like we said, we like to stay away from Gibbons as long as they can. There's a nice pitch right there. Gets back in the count with a changeup.
Well, with Asher, he stretched out. It looked like what Buck was trying to do was get Miley through the 6th, and then maybe Asher could pitch the final 3 innings, because he certainly is capable of doing that. So he'll be asked to get at least 1 more out as he comes on in the 6th. Fly ball left center field. That chases Kim. That chases Jones. And that ball is gone. A 3-run home run, and the Cardinals not going away.
Well, they're not going away, and I mean, this is playing out exactly the way we thought it would. They would get somebody in there other than Gibbons and Brock. They would try to take advantage of it. And then again, in a lot of parks, this is a routine fly ball. It's just caught on the warning track, but not here at Camden Yards. So this is the 2nd home run. I mean, it's outside 3rd of the plate, but you know, he's red hot. They moved him from lead off to 2nd, and I think he likes it there. And what, he had been 271 consecutive games till this week. Fowler hitting in the number 1 spot. There's a big swing on a little bit of a cutter. So they're back in the game.
So it's now 12-7, a 5-run game. And a lot of baseball left to be played. Strike 1 to Jose Martinez, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. Well, Asher, Jim, as a starter, his ERA 6.98, as a reliever 1.62.
Oh, that's it. And then he can pitch more frequently than Ubaldo. I mean, it looked to me, I mean, it was a little bit inconsistent as a starter, but pitched well in Chicago until he got into the 6th. And if you had a well bullpen, he might not have pitched the 6th. And that ball not even close. And then it's hard to see. You know, this is Jose Martinez. You don't have to see a lot of him to know that he's a slasher. He's going to try to cover the outside corner, and this is a fastball that's in. But again, I mean, that's what, 4 inches off the plate. He's protecting. That's what hitters do with 2 strikes. That's why he's got the, you know, he's got the protection. Not that you ever want to throw at anybody's head or be around there. And that's kind of a wasted cutter.
Well, the Cardinals have 3 home runs, driving in 6 of their 7 runs. And just off the plate.
Well, you know, this kid can hit a little bit because most hitters chase that. But not Jose Martinez.
A full count with 2 down. And that's going to fall for a base hit. Smith will play it on a hop. So Asher comes on, home run, now single. Well, we invite you to help support the patients and families at the University of Maryland Medical Center by attending a special fundraising event for Shannon's Fund. It'll be on Friday, August 18th at Oriole Park. Now, the ticket packages for the event begin as low as $50 and include a game ticket and an exclusive pregame barbecue. For tickets and more information, please visit Orioles.com/Shannon's Fund. I assure you, you will enjoy it. It's a very nice event as we remember our friend Shannon O'Baker. Richard Blyer has been pitching really well, now beginning to get loose.
So the Cardinals doing exactly what again, you saw last night. They can swing the bat. I mean, that was a perfect 3-2 pitch. And Martinez says, I'm not going to pull it. I'll do what the Orioles have done all day, hit it the other way. And now you get the guy that hit 30 home runs up to the plate. And if he parked one, I mean, it's 12-9.
Asher, like Miley, does get a lot of deep counts. Tries to live on the corners, and if you hit him, you'll get the calls, but tends to lead to a lot of deep counts. That time he got the call. Well, the Orioles have 11 hits. The Cardinals have 8. St. Louis with 3 home runs, and the O's have hit 4 home runs.
And how about Eric Fryer on deck because you took Molina out of the game? It was 12-4 after he homered.
Yeah, and Garcia is now in Diaz's spot, which is number 6. That ball's cued past Mancini. Scope can get to it. He throws to first and beyond Mancini, but backing up is Castillo. Yeah, that should be a hit.
Yeah, not an easy play. Obviously, if you're watching it at home, you're going, well, if he threw it to the base, would he get him out? Good chance. But right off the end of the bat, so Scope's got, look how far he has to go. Now Mancini's back. And again, an inaccurate throw backed up nicely by Castillo. And again, a very tough angle to throw from if you're a second baseman going hard to your left.
So pitching change with the left-handed bat of Garcia coming up. We'll get Blyer in the 6th.
For him last year, not a hard thrower, but usually throws strikes. And again, it gets righties and lefties out. In fact, gets right-handers out a lower number. And so far, he's kept the ball in the ballpark. And you love those numbers. only 2 of the inherited, 11 inherited runners. So the Orioles are looking for an out some way to get out of this 6th inning. Miley thought he struck out Carpenter. Home plate umpire didn't think so, and the inning goes on.
Alec Asher faced 3 batters, allowed a home run and a couple of singles, so he didn't get an out. And here is Greg Garcia, his first at bat. He's in Molina's spot, took over at second base.
Yeah, they did a double switch kind of in a way, and Fryer came in to.
He's in the Diaz spot, number 6.
Yeah.
So Mike Matheny, very much like Buck Showalter, who rarely, when he makes substitutions, does it even up, unless it's simply a 1-for-1.
Well, Garcia came in, and this is what you do in the National League because you don't have the DH. I mean, he was 18 for 53 last year as a pinch hitter, 340. And those are his numbers. And again, last year, as you look at Michael Gibbons, so what do we talk about? They want to get Gibbons in the game as soon as they can. It makes him maybe less likely to pitch tomorrow. If he does, at the end, I mean, this is a bullpen that doesn't have O'Day, doesn't have Britton. Everybody's been moved back. You don't get to see the same pitchers you saw last year when they had the best bullpen in the American League, and it's taken its toll.
Day with his bullpen mates, even though on the DL. And Zach behind Roger McDowell. So Blyer comes on and allows a walk, and the bases are loaded. And we're going to get Michael Gibbons. So Blyer came on simply to face the lefty, hoping to get the out, and he loads the bases.
Yeah, it's funny, Buck always talks about reverse splits. He doesn't get, he gets righties out better than lefties, and he walks the left-hander. Don't get quality pitching and whatever, so now Gibbons in there earlier than they wanted, but he's done a great job this year. You can see, 6-0. He gets righties and lefties out. But the Cardinals, again, at one point they trailed 12-4, 12-3. So they've done everything they can to get back in this game. Now, those are the numbers that aren't as good. That's probably the only really weak link with Michael Gibbons. Converted infielder who's got a power arm that can throw 3 pitches over the plate. And again, the Orioles are looking for an out.
Facing Eric Fryer, who's the 9th Cardinal to come up here in the 6th inning. Fans applauding a strike after the walk.
Well, this is where, again, without injuries, I keep repeating myself, this is where Gibbons usually would pitch. But because of the injuries, they haven't been able to use him early unless they're in desperation, and they're in desperation. And the Orioles are going to have to figure out, they're either going to have to find guys or coach them up at some level or here to be able to come in and do a better job. It's as simple as that if they want to be a contending team.
And he got him on 3 pitches. Givens with a big strikeout, and the Cardinals leave the bases loaded. Bottom of the 6th coming up, a brand new game. Brought to you by Royal Farms. Pick up your ROFO rewards card today at any Royal Farms to save on gas and to start earning points for free stuff. And by Elephant Insurance. More care, less cost. Discover the elephant difference at elephant.com. Michael Givens gets out of a jam, strands the bases loaded, so it's a 12-7 game. Cardinals have scored 4 unanswered runs since the Orioles made it a 12-3 game. And Givens likely will stay on for the 7th. And here's John Brebbia.
Yeah, Brebbia comes in. He was a Rule 5 acquisition by the Cardinals, so he's had pretty good numbers. Not a lot of innings. And again, righties have really had no chance at under 100. 94 with the fastball, throws a slider, throws a curveball. And again, signed with the Yankees originally. And then with the Diamondbacks, that's when the Cardinals swoop down in the Rule 5 when you don't protect the player. So a chance to do what Tyler Lyons did in a sense, try to keep them where they are.
Yeah, he did a real good job. He pitched 3 1/3. Did allow 3 runs, but he ate up some innings.
Well, he did, and I mean the ball's flying here. You know, I think if the Orioles hadn't had to face Carlos Martinez, they might have hit some more home runs last night, but he was electric. And so what, 6 home runs hit last night. What do you got today? 7?
7 today.
Yeah, 7 today so far.
So the Orioles will look for a few add-on runs here.
Yeah, I remember, I don't know who it was, but they would go to Buck Showalter and say, yeah, you got to get, are you happy they got some tack on runs? And he goes, I don't like that term at all. You're not tacking them on, you're adding them.
You're earning them.
Yes, exactly.
Mike Wright on the bench talking with Givens. Wright got an injection into his sore shoulder.
Did he get the injection? Yeah, good.
Buck
good
reported that today in his pregame press conference. Skied to right. That is playable for Huffman. And one down here in the Orioles 6th. Hey fans, remember, anytime the O's score 4 runs or more, you win free McDonald's Chicken McNuggets. Download the McDonald's app today. It's available at Baltimore area McDonald's.
Yeah, John Brebbia says, well, I'm thinking I'm going to try a 93, 94 mile low and away fastball and see if maybe if I can take my chances. A lot of hittable pitches for both sides today.
Mark Trumbo's had a good day.
There's the curveball. He's also got a slider to go with it. Yeah, the time of day where probably a little advantage to the pitcher because of the visuals, especially if you make good pitches. The lights haven't taken effect. I mean, the shadows behind the pitcher, I don't know how that would look, but you can see maybe on his face, but and maybe from the release point. Another 15-20 minutes, they'll probably be out of. Oh, there you go. Perfect curveball.
Yeah, that one right on the corner.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean.
Well.
Yeah. Well, you can't say much about that. Yeah.
Fryer again. But if you're the Orioles, you're not going to complain about that because Castillo's gotten several calls for.
Well, that curveball was pretty much down the middle. That was a good one. Great break. A good curveball, you know, out of your hand, they don't really go up.
Nicely gloved there by DeYoung, and he throws to first and scooped on the back end. Nice play by Jose Martinez. So the Orioles go 3 up, 3 down. We head to the 7th. Gibbons stays on. Just go to Orioles.com/voteorange. If you vote 5 times, you get the chance to win an autographed All-Star jersey, and vote 20 times to receive a buy one, get one offer for the Ranger Series in July. Vote early and vote often, but vote orange. Visit Orioles.com/voteorange today. Turned out to be a lovely afternoon. Youngsters at the game. Families love the day games. Okay, it's got good seats.
Well, again, I mean, even if you're a player, I mean, think about it. You know, if you go home with the family. I know you'll probably be barbecuing later on, and you know, for us urbanites, we actually, you know, go out the door, go around the corner. You know, Little Italy, you got a lot of choices.
Yes, you do.
Really, only one choice for me. but yeah, you just, yeah, you know. And then you have a day game tomorrow, so you know.
Perfect pitch. 1-2 on Eric Fryer, who's batting for the first time. He took over from Molina behind the plate.
Well, Michael Gibbons has really, you know, again, he's got a good slider, especially righty to righty. I mean, fastball can get up to 98. See you later. There it is, 98 on the corner. I was talking to him in the kind of on the dugout today, and I was saying, you know, you're really an outstanding pitcher. Right? If you consider that, what, 4 years ago he's trying to come up to the big leagues and as an infielder, and he's figured out how to pitch. He was a fastball changeup pitcher, but my point to him today is, I said, you're a smidgen from being really, really good. You're good right now. But it's, you know, and Dom Cheedy used to talk about this. We used to talk all the time when he was the bullpen coach last year about just that little extra. Maybe it's a little bit of focus. It's not always ability, and you didn't go to the next level. And because of injuries, he's assumed a really important part. Now, he was always an important part, but a really important part of this bullpen.
That was Pham actually that struck out. Fryer was the 9th and final batter in the 6th. So Givens has faced 2 batters and he has back-to-back Ks. Now he's facing Chad Huffman. There's the closer. He'll pitch for Aberdeen on Monday. Working his way back from the DL. One and 2 on a real good looking breaking ball there.
And of course what Buck Showalter is worried and is hoping about, okay, be efficient, and that's another part of the focus. You know, again, I mean, when you have this ability, and he's tough, especially righty to righty, he turns, you know, it's tough to pick the ball up. Again, explosive stuff. And that's a 99. Maybe our gun maybe is at least on the board out there is 98. Either way. And
pretty good
light,
giddy up.
Yeah, it is. Well, and again, if you're Chad Huffman, I mean, good sliders are hard to pick up. And he just kind of stayed alive trying to hit 99. And see, I mean, you can see he knows, just didn't quite get the pitch out in front of him. So just kind of spun. Yeah, when you really, I mean, when you get experience and all that, after a while you just have checkpoints. You know, if you were an overhand pitcher like I was, you know, if you're constantly high, okay, am I out on my heel? Do I need to just cut my stride down? That'll get me down in the zone.
Count goes full, 3-2. So you got ahead 1-2, and now the count full.
Well, this game not over, but the Cardinals again, even if they end up losing today because they gave up 12 runs, they want Givens to throw a lot of pitches, so he's not available for tomorrow because they'd love to win the series. Pitching matchup with Lance Lynn, is pitching a lot better than Ubaldo, favors them. Doesn't mean that they're going to win automatically. We saw, you know, Wainwright's coming off a good start, so, but you want Givens maybe unavailable. And Orioles are hoping that Ubaldo, who has pitched out of the bullpen since what, May 28th, he'll come back and have a good start. Wow.
Knocked down by the glove. He lost the glove, but he retreats and he gets the out. Quick reflexes from the former infielder.
Middle infielder. And again, I don't know if he got it with a glove. I hope that's the case. Yeah, and I don't really think that actually got his hand. Of course, everybody runs out just to make sure. And not only does he knock it down, the wherewithal to find it in a hurry. And so what if he can't hit and he became a pitcher? He can pitch. I mean, look at these reflexes. To reach across your body at 104 miles per hour. And then down the, I mean, check this out. Down the pitching slope, throw across your body, perfect throw to Trey Mancini.
Drafted as a shortstop.
Cat-like. Kind of like you in high school, I hear. I got the scouting report on you. Cat-like moves turning the double play. What was that high school in New Jersey?
St. John Vianney.
Good to hit.
Yeah, pretty good.
Oh, your voice got very high there. What was that?
333, I think, as a senior.
Okay. Aluminum bat? You can't remember it so long ago.
Well, it's 40 years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
No, they had aluminum bats, or the version back then. Here's the 0-2 pitch, just outside.
Wellington Castillo held it there. Well, they had aluminum foil back then, but
now, if Givens can get this out, it would be the first time in this game that the Cardinals go 3 up and 3 down. Last inning they sent 9 men to the plate and scored 3 runs, but Givens got the big out to strand the bases loaded. High fly ball to left center. That's playable for Kim. And Hunsu puts it away, and Givens has a 3-up 3-down inning. 7th inning stretch at Camden Yards. Michael Givens knocks it down, takes a base hit away from Huffman. Event with the best total savings on select models in Hyundai's history. It's going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Well, back here at Camden Yards, Jim Hunter and Jim Palmer in a very entertaining game. The Orioles still have a 5-run lead. It was 12-3. It's now 12-7. A little warmer here today, muggy here today, and the ball's flying.
A lot of pitches in the middle of the plate. 7 home runs. The Orioles have held the Cardinals to a touchdown. They have actually missed the extra point and 2 field goals, so they have 12 runs. And again, you got to win today. You want to win a series. Obviously, you want to win as many games as you can, but to really get back to where you're playing good baseball, it's about series. So you win today. Try to score some more runs, maybe to make it a little bit easier, and then take your chances tomorrow with the Baldo against Lance Lynn.
Yeah, the Orioles have lost 10 of their last 13 games, so they're trying to turn it around and get it going positive, and it looks like Givens is going to be asked to go out for another inning and then get to Brock in the 9th. Buck Showalter went to Alec Asher to try to get the final out in the 6th, but Asher allowed a home run, then back-to-back singles. Richard Blyer walked the only batter he faced, so Givens had to come on in the 6th. And he got the strikeout to end the inning.
Well, Alec throw on Tuesday night over 100 pitches. So again, they get him back in the bullpen because you're making the move, and probably thought he was going to pitch tomorrow. But again, rush back into the bullpen. I mean, Fowler had a pretty good pitch the other way for a home run, but that's Camden Yards. And then Brebbia comes in here looking like he's got pretty good stuff. Not even on the 40-man roster when the season started. So he is, again, as we told you, Rule 5 guy, has started on occasion early on. And then moved to the bullpen the last couple of years.
That's foul. Scopey's had a big day. He is 3 for 3. He has a 2-run home run and an RBI single. So for Scope, it's his 9th multi-RBI game, which is tops on the team. And he leads the Orioles with 39 RBIs. Mancini has 37. Left field towards the corner. That ball is trouble, and that ball is gone. It just got out. Have a day, Jonathan Scope, 4 for 4 with a couple of long balls.
Yeah, I tell you, there is no better mistake breaking ball hitter on this team. It's not that Adam Jones, who hit a hanging curveball in the first inning, can't hit home runs on it, but day in and day out, you make a mistake to Jonathan Scope. And again, with the breaking ball, it's going to speed up the bat, and he's tremendously strong. Saw that earlier on with the home run. And he just kind of flicks it. But again, the shortest part here in this ballpark, at least the left field, is right down the line. And he hit that ball, what, about 340 feet? Over the 333 mark.
So that gives the Orioles once again a 6-run cushion as Castillo, first ball swinging, pops it up. Fowler in center field has a play. And 1 down.
Yeah, again, I mean, here's the curveball, and Brebbia showed he has a pretty good one, but it just stays. And again, it's not a horrible pitch outside middle, but again, I mean, it speeds the battle up a little bit. So I think you always try to pitch to the big part of the park if you can, and Jonathan says nope. Yeah, Matt Bowman getting loose, who's used occasionally in the middle of the game.
Well, our Maryland lottery contestant of the game, Christopher Norby of Columbia, having a good day. Another $500 off the home run. In fact, there have been 5 home runs in this game by the Orioles, which ties their season high. And for Scope, it's his 2nd multi-home run game.
So they hit as many as the Cardinals hit last night. The Cardinals, of course, the Orioles only scored 2. The Cards have done a better job this afternoon with their offense. So they've scored 18 runs in 2 games against a team that came in even though at 21-10 before last night with a 3.63 ERA at home. Weather a little bit cooler, pitching a little bit better. And the Cards, at least initially, taking opportunities to score a bunch of runs.
And there's another base hit for Hyun-Soo Kim. So Hyun-Soo now with a 4-game hitting streak and taking advantage of this extra playing time.
Yeah, well, all the shadows have disappeared except out by first base. So if you're hitting, you know, pitchers, you know, in the dusk or the twilight, and so is the hitter.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. You saw Joey Rickard come on for Kim. He'll pinch run and stay in the game defensively. And a strike to Hardy. JJ had the big hit to get that big rally going in the 2nd, a 2-run double. It drove in the first 2 runs in that 7-run inning. This ball's trouble towards the right field corner, and that falls in for a hit, and it gets past Huffman. Rickard is being set. He's flying around the bases. Here's the relay throw to the plate. It is up the line, and Rickard slides in.
Well, it's nice to have speed, isn't it? You get a good read. JJ Hardy's going, well, this is a nice little afternoon. Couple of doubles. And it kind of hits it back. You know, lets the ball travel a little bit, and hits it back in the strike zone, and then you can see it's a nice throw home, but Joey Rickard can run a little bit. One of the reasons he's a Rule 5 guy, so he's got the glove on, and he gets that left hand underneath the tag of Fryer.
And Seth Smith told him exactly where he needed to go, and he followed the instructions. So JJ, his 2nd double. He has a 3 RBI game.
Yeah, isn't it amazing? I mean, really put him in because he's going to come in to play defense for Kim, who gets on, and then dump a double, and he scores all the way from first.
Well, for JJ, 3 RBIs. It's his first multi-RBI game since May 16th, so a month ago. Which is 3rd on the year and his first since May 16th. The 1-1 on Smith. Now Smith has got to be wondering,
why,
you know,
why
14 runs on 14 hits, and I'm looking at an 0 for 4.
Well, actually,
he's a line drive he hit right into second base.
Probably saying, you know what, it's about time I got a hit. But I will say this: if you are going to go 0 for 4, you want to do it when the rest of your teammates are driving in 14.
Five of the 9 in the lineup that started have multi-hit games. And Rickard scored all the way around from first on that Hardy double. Hardy, Scope, Trumbo, Jones, and Machado all have multi-hit games here this afternoon. And that hit him.
Yeah. Well, he didn't want to get on that way. And just kind of held on. Brebbia throwing a curveball and hanging on, and going to get him right in the right foot. But yeah, maybe somewhere where hopefully it didn't hurt too much.
Our Alexis of Towson driving the game. Let's go back to the second.
Yeah, it's a screamer. Couple of percentage points over a line drive all the way into the bullpen. The Oriole bullpen very quickly.
Alexis of Towson, the area's #1 volume Lexus dealer for 7 straight years. Come see why at lexusoftowson.com.
And Manny just left earth on that breaking ball that stayed in the middle of the plate. Looking for home run number 14. He's on a pace to hit as many home runs as he did last year. You know, but again, I mean, when you look at, they give you the number, the league average on the batting average on balls in play is usually around 300. Lifetime for him, it's 303 with power. This year, under 230. So it's been one of those years where, again, maybe hitting in bad luck, maybe chasing a little bit, trying to get the average up, but patience is a virtue.
Well, 0-2 on Machado.
And it's funny when if you go back to last year and you wanted to go back and look at all the home runs, I mean, that's a pitch that when he gets hot, he can hit over the right center field fence, especially here at home. And this whole series has told you you can hit a ball out anytime, any place in this ballpark.
And a good take. So the off-speed pitch down and away, and Manny didn't bite. Too tight with the fastball, 2-2. Brebbia, the 3rd pitcher used. Wainwright, the starter, lasted just an inning and 2/3. Towards the middle, it hits the pitcher. He can't find it. It goes to the second baseman Garcia, who alertly picks it up and gets Machado at first.
Again, I don't know if it's going to be a base hit or not, but good chance, even though they got the shift on. And that'll move the runners over, but we're out to see if he's all right.
And he'll get an assist since the ball hit him. So 1-for-3 on the putout.
Well, the Stanley Cup finals are over, but this is with a kick save. Doesn't know where it is, but his infielder did.
Adam walked up to the plate and he gestured out to Brebbia. Do you want to throw a warm-up pitch here? And he said, no, I'm good. Just get in there. Adam always being a gentleman. Well, Michael Givens came on and restored order. 14-7 game. Those have scored 2 here. So second and third with 2 down for Adam. That ball's lined right to the second baseman, and Garcia has it for the out. But the Orioles get 7 men to the plate. They score 2 more. We'll head to the 8th in a 14-7 game. Three-game weekend series. Ubaldo Jimenez will be on the mound against Lance Lynn. Our coverage on MASN 2 begins at 1 o'clock with those extra presented by Southwest, and then game coverage at 1:30. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN.
Yeah, and Lance Lynn, you know, again, free agent year, coming off Tommy John surgery. He's really come back nicely. I mean, kind of old school where he's going to, I mean, you're going to get a lot of pitches to hit, but it's going to be good stuff. And then Ubaldo Jimenez, the Orioles hoping he will get back to where he pitched in September. And we've seen him in the past where he's been kind of, I don't know what the word would be, kind of sent to the bullpen and then brought back and pitched better. So hopefully that'll be the case tomorrow afternoon.
So Givens stays on. Joey Rickard stays in the game in left field. He pinch ran for Hyun-Soo Kim. The good news for Givens is he's been somewhat pitch efficient here. He's thrown 21 pitches. He's faced 4 batters so far. Got the final out in the 6th and 3 up, 3 down in the 7th.
Well, that strikeout with the bases loaded was huge. But the Cardinals do get what they wanted. Even if they don't win, they've gotten Givens out of the way because of the fact that if you're the Orioles, you need to win the game. You don't really have a lot of alternatives. You know, you may see Brad Brock for an inning just for tune-up. Saw that in Chicago.
Yeah, he hasn't pitched since Wednesday, and that was just a third of an inning.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he got in a game. What, a 10-6 game on Monday night. He got an inning. That was his tune-up for Wednesday. And then Givens tried to pitch multiple innings and then got behind, and then Brock had to come in and get the final out. It will all change hopefully in a couple of weeks if Zach Britton, who feels much better, can come back.
They still will not reveal when they think he'll be back. Buck was asked about it again yesterday when Zach returned here to the ballpark, and he said, well, it won't be July 1st. It'll be sometime after that, but It should be before the All-Star break. Center field for Adam Jones. Carpenter's down 1 away in the St. Louis 8th. Well, fans, don't forget you can crush home runs and dominate in your very own Derby competition in the official MLB.com Home Run Derby game on the App Store and Google Play. Swing for the fences against more than 10 million players from around the world as your favorite Derby All-Star. Download Home Run Derby for free today.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, Buck is only guessing. He certainly feels right, but if you, I don't know, maybe he'll go, you think he'll go 2 days between an inning? I mean, he's usually very efficient. He wasn't on the last rehab, and then of course re-injured the arm. But you know, again, if he pitches on the 19th and he takes a couple of days off, it conceivably he could be back somewhere right around the 1st of July.
Well, the plan is he'll pitch for Aberdeen Monday. That's the Ironbirds season opener. The New York Penn League getting going, and then he's going to go to Delmarva for a couple of games.
Yeah, any time frame in between that you heard of?
No, they're not really saying the time frames. Buck did say where he would go. That ball's going to fall for a hit for Fowler the other way. So Zach threw a simulated game at Frederick on Thursday, and this was earlier today. What's this with the sock, Jim?
Well, again, that's just a drill you do. You load, and then you get the feeling of. You know, some people use like you know, an 18-inch little like a wooden dowel. You know, some people use the sock drill. You actually put a baseball in your hand, and then you have one of those sanitary socks where the ball comes out of your hand. That was a Mike Butcher. He was the Angels pitching coach for a long time.
Breaking ball for a strike, 0-1 to Jose Martinez. Now, if the Cardinals don't score here, and we'll get our answer when the Orioles come to bat, we'll see who gets up, and looks like activity is going to get going now. Swing and a miss, and Brad Brock does get up, and there's our answer. I was wondering in a 7-run game if Buck might resist going to Brad, but if he feels he needs an inning tune-up, this would be a good game for that.
Yeah, and then you hold your breath that he has an efficient inning.
0-2 on Martinez with Fowler on at first.
A nice little effort there at 98. Just missed the corner.
So Givens at 31 pitches. Outside.
Yeah, when I was talking to Michael, I was just saying, you know, there's almost an apprehension, and there's certain guidelines you have to do. You want to throw strike one to the hitter. You want to get the first out. You know, all those kind of things. And you know, I think the more experience you get, you realize how important they are. And people can tell you, but until you really know, and those are the things that sometimes that separates greatness. And he's got. I mean, he's got a. I told him you have a special gift to be able to throw the ball 97, 98. And to come as far as he has, and he just throws that ball right by a pretty good hitter, even if he's a contact type of guy, and he's going to go back to the dugout. And I always thought, you know, it's funny when he got to the big leagues, I'm going, well, yeah, he needs to work on the changeup, but that when he came up to the minors, that's pretty much what he threw. The slider was the pitch that came last, even though it's probably maybe his second or his first secondary pitch.
Well, the season high for Givens in pitches is 38. That was on April 30th in New York.
And what, he's at 34 now. What you like is the fact he's thrown a 2-to-1 ratio.
Joe Slow, 1-1 the count.
And again, I think if the Orioles were playing better, and again they had a normal bullpen, he never would stretch somebody out this long with this kind of lead. Almost like no lead is safe. We used to always say that in Fenway Park because of the nature of Fenway.
Fowler takes off. The Orioles let him have the base. It will not be a stolen base. defensive indifference, so it goes down as a fielder's choice on the scorecard. Yeah, the 6th inning was the key because Asher couldn't get that final out, and then Blyer was given one batter and he walked him, so Givens had to come on in the 6th instead of coming on in the 7th or maybe the 8th. So he's about to throw his 38th pitch, which will equal his season high.
And it wasn't like they were horrible pitchers that Asher threw. I mean, you know, one was down and away. Fowler hit it in the left field seats. Yeah, a little cutter down and away. Martinez hit it over second base. So they had some good at bats.
Too tight, 3-2.
But again, I think also, you know, Buck, he really, he's going to go strolling, but he doesn't want to have to bring his closer in for a 4-out save. But you also got to win the game, and you don't want the pitch count to get excessive, and it's already tied with the season high for Michael Givens.
Popped up. Mancini hoping for a play near the dugout. He runs out of room. Bounces in the camera well and then up into the stands. So Givens about to throw the 7th pitch in this at bat to Jerko, and he's now at a season high. It'll be his 40th pitch. Popped up. That's going to be in the stands.
Now you can see Jed Jerko. He's just, I mean, he's trying to shorten the swing. You know, a power guy. Just when you're in San Diego until they brought the fences in, he had over 20 home runs one there. That means you got a little bit of power. There's his hitting instructor John Mabry, and then you hit 30 last year. But it looks to me he's just trying to shorten up, make contact, let Givens supply the power.
This one's hooked foul.
And then the slider speeds the bat up. Just Michael hoping that he could get him out in front. Yeah, he found out how comfortable it is last night to hit here when he pretty much hit a high fly ball to right field and right over into the flag court to the opposite field.
Bounce to third. That is a fair ball. Long throw across from Manny. He got him. Machado, another outstanding play. In control. Across his body and a perfect pitch and strike to Mancini.
Yeah, he could almost go sit in the first row of the seats. This ball is so far.
So Machado gets the final out and Givens gets through the inning. photo on @MassinOrioles to enter. And be sure to check out the 811 bike and car courtesy of Miss Utility tomorrow here at Oriole Park. Follow @MassinOrioles on Twitter for more info. Miss Utility reminds you to always call 811 before you dig. It's the law.
So take a look right here, and again, I mean, you got to go a long way for it. Hits right on the foul line, and look where he ends up throwing the ball from. And not only does he throw it from way over yonder, it's right on the money. Scope going, well, I'll do the hitting and you just play defense.
Trumbo pops it up. Yeah. Martinez has it. So one pitch for the new pitcher, Matt Bowman.
Yeah, he's got 13 holes already. So again, not overpowering, but you know, again, he's done a nice job. He's got the splitter, slider, fastball, and you know, he throws strikes. He's pretty efficient. One pitch, one out. Even though Mark Trumbo's not a fan of that. Gets lefties out. And how about that? 3 for 28. Now make it 3 for 29. And that doesn't happen unless you're able to pitch to contact.
Mancini takes a strike. Trey, a 2-run double in the 7-run rally in the second. So he's now got an 8-game hitting streak going.
Wow.
This is going to be a tough play. Bowman quickly over. Throws low, and Martinez can't scoop it.
Yeah, out of Chevy Chase, and he chases that very quickly and jams him. I mean, get the ball in, and I would imagine because he got to it so quickly, they might score it as an error. But on the other hand, it wasn't a routine play because of how far he had to go. Good throw gets him. I mean, look how far he goes, sets himself, but he throws the ball in the dirt. I mean, he's out by at least 3 strides. It probably will be an error, I would imagine, but I'm sure Trey Mancini would like another hit. Another Rule 5 draftee is Matt Bowman. Comes out of the Mets organization, where he came up as a pretty effective starter in the minor leagues. Some years.
Jonathan Scope will take a strike. Perfect day for Jonathan, now facing Bowman.
Yeah, just turned 26.
Up and in.
And again, not a lot, again, not overwhelming velocity, but movement. Runs it in there. Kind of bet the ranch it's going to be something down and away, maybe a slider, hoping to get a double play ball. He also has the splitter. Yeah, there it is. Pretty good one.
By the way, the scorer looked over Mancini's hit several times in his rule base hit.
Really? Yeah. Not a normal play at the major league level.
Took him quite a while. Well, Jonathan Scope, a 2-home-run game. Let's look at it through StatCast.
Yeah, I mean, this one launched. It's going to go about you can see 414 feet. And then a curveball off of John Brebbia. You can see him reach for it and then hits it to the shortest part of left field. Second row, first or second row. I would imagine that Mr. Scope has never hit 3 home runs in a game. There's another splitter.
Mancini on at first with an infield hit, so he has a 2-hit game. 2 out of 5. Brad Brock still getting loose, so he'll come out and work the 9th. Fights off a good pitch. Now Jonathan with 4 hits. He now has 70 hits on the year. 4 RBIs. He has 40. First Oriole to reach 40 RBIs this season. Mancini has 37. Trumbo now has 30. Adam has 31. Manny now has 31. Past the mound, the shortstop DeYoung only plays at first, 2 down. Going to second, Mancini. They got Scope out.
Well, it took a nice little sinking fastball. You can see how Matt Bowman's having success. I mean, his fastball runs. He's got a splitter. Haven't seen the breaking ball. I mean, it looks like he's about 14.
Yeah, very youthful looking.
Which is kind of a good trait to have, even if you just turned 26.
Wellington Castillo, hitless plus a walk. So Wellington now 4 for 27 since coming off the disabled list, but he has 6 RBIs, including a grand slam in Chicago.
Yeah, I think he probably got the ultimate compliment from his manager. Rex Olwater saying today, he said, "I never realized how good he really was." You know, there are a lot of players that ultimately, you know, maybe you see him playing for another team and then it gets traded to your team. You know, Kenny Singleton, you see him in spring training, then he's your teammate and you're going, "Oh, this guy can play." You know, Wellington Castillo, tough position. And anytime you catch in Baltimore or really the Northeast, you know, even the Midwest, it gets hot there too, but yeah, the humidity and the heat takes its toll. But again, you got to enjoy it. Caleb Joseph, the chance that he'll catch tomorrow.
He may catch the ninth. Looks like he's limbering up. Well, Castillo did play here last September as a member of the Diamondbacks. There was a 3-game interleague series.
Yeah, I kind of remember that in my mind's eye. He didn't have a good series, but they didn't either. You know, Segura, who got traded to Seattle and signed a long-term extension with them, you know, it was a really good year. He didn't even hit well in that series.
Foul tip.
And Wade Miley pitched in that series, struck out, I don't know, a bunch of guys, 11 and 12, and it's like 7 innings. Of course, the Orioles were trying to get to the playoffs, so it was kind of a must-win time for them.
Yeah, it sure was. They ended up, what, just 1 game better than the Tigers for that second wild card spot. Ruben Tejada on the bench. I think he was just told by John Russell he's going in.
Yeah, it appears that Matt Bowman has enough, you know, command where he can just throw it on the inside third of the plate, and then the run, you know, again, that righty to righty, that left to right movement, it's hard to lay off it. And then he's got the splitter that goes down, and so there's your ground ball strikeout pitch.
Seventh pitch here to Castillo, and he walked him. And Caleb Joseph's going to pinch run for him. Now, when's the last time Caleb pinch ran?
Well, in the spirit of this series with Tim McCarver, he runs well for a catcher.
Well, he was going to come on and catch the ninth anyway, so this way he'll get loose on the bases. Joey Rickard's first at bat, he pinch ran for Hyun-Soo Kim and scored from first on the Hardy double. The Mancini at second, and Joseph pinch running at first with 2 down. Rickard is 0 for 6 his last 3 games. Bowman, the fourth pitcher used for St. Louis today. Wainwright, an inning and 2/3. He was knocked out. Tyler Lyons did a real good job bridging the gap. 3 1/3 in relief. John Brebbia pitched 2 innings for Mike Matheny, and now Bowman. Total of 25 hits in this game. You know, the Orioles team ERA, Jim, will likely go up because they've allowed 7 runs, but yet they're going to win.
Well, you take that, and that's the way it was in Chicago. The one game there, I mean, Bundy gave up runs early, but he hung around, tenacious outing, and the Orioles came back with 10 runs. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. You know, the Cardinals are, at least to this point, they've scored what, 7 runs, 10 hits. Mike Matheny's, you know, they got him. He managed what, 6th year. They went to the playoff first time in the history of the National League, 4 straight years, and he's going to get criticized for taking Molina out of the game. He'll take some flack for that, because who struck out in the 6th when they had a chance to get back in the game? It was Fryer who was coming in, and tells you how sometimes how hard it is to manage in certain cities when they expect to win.
Joey pops it up near the dugout. And in the first row there at the dugout, right where the benches are, on the top step.
Yeah, I think Jose Martinez had a little bit better angle at it, but he deferred to Eric Fryer, and tough play. Yeah, he gives up right here, and now all of a sudden he's going to try to get there. I mean, he's taller, longer arms, but I mean, right there you can see Fryer taking a look, and then he realizes kind of getting into territory I'm not familiar with.
And Chris Tillman making sure he's okay.
And Joey Rickard saying I'm still alive.
And he plunks him.
Well, got hit in Chicago. Jose Abreu there to give him a pat on the shoulder. And this ball again way inside. And Buck's not liking it because
it's a 3rd hit batter today.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it's never good news to get hit in the ribs because you just don't know. But not happy with that. Yeah, but somebody's got to pitch in when you get 21 runs on the board. You just don't want to hit people, but you know, Matt Bowman's not particularly overpowering, so he's got to move the ball around. And he moved it right into Joey Rickard's ribs.
So Hardy a chance for more RBIs. He already has 3. He's got Mancini on at 3rd. Caleb Joseph at 2nd, and Joey Rickard the fastest of the 3 at 1st.
Well, he doubled the left center, and then he fought one off for a double down the right field line. So, there's the quality pitch. You kind of give up on that fastball because it starts off the plate, and then you've seen him run it in on the right-handers, but that one, you know, pitching to both sides of the plate.
And that gets away from the catcher. Here comes Mancini to score.
15th run on a wild pitch. You know, kind of a high slider that never breaks. Derek Lilliquist going to come out.
So Mancini, good hustle this inning. The infield hit, and he scores on a wild pitch. And the Orioles now with a season high 15 runs. They scored 13 against Detroit in that wild extra inning win on that Monday night or Tuesday night, the first game in that series. Those 2 outs in the inning. Bowman having a tough time getting the final out. He walked Castillo a long at bat, then he hit Rickard. And now wild pitch. 2-2 on JJ. Hardy's gone 73 at-bats without a home run. He now has 21 RBIs in the number 9 spot, with 3 today. And they're ruling that a pass ball, even though it zoomed.
That was a pass ball?
That's what I just told. The score said pass ball.
Well, either way, the Orioles get the 15th run, but it's a tough pass ball.
Slicing down the right field line, Huffman in the corner. He makes the catch in foul territory, and that will end the inning. So the Orioles get a run. We head to the 9th. Brad Brock coming on.
Be pitching, and this is the first game of the '70 World Series. Lee May hits a ball over the bag. Brooks Robinson, who won 16 consecutive Gold Gloves, MVP in this World Series, on a play pretty much what we just saw here from Manny Machado. Boog Powell making the play. So here we go, and again, maybe in a little bit better acuity because of high definition television. He doesn't throw it on one hop, but right on the money to Trey Mancini. So again, you always compare generations to generations. What did Manny say? It's great anytime I can be compared to Brooks Robinson, even though I didn't get to see him play. But they play very much alike. Brad Brock, what a year he's having. And again, Buck Showalter on the plane the other day said, well, who do you think is going to represent the Orioles? Well, they've got a couple of choices. You know, it could be Welling Castillo, who's done a nice job, but Brad Brock certainly could do it. If I'm a American League manager, as Caleb Joseph came in to pinch run, and Tejada goes to shortstop. JJ with a pretty productive offensive afternoon, gets the rest of the 9th inning. Brock would be a guy that I might want to have in my bullpen. Made his first All-Star team last year.
Well, it seems like that's what it's going to, where they bring as many closers and setup men as they can because they're accustomed to doing that. But,
yeah, I mean, you know, in the old days, my first All-Star game 3 innings, second All-Star game 3 innings, third All-Star game 3 innings. That you don't do that anymore.
You get 2,
if that. Sometimes starters will only pitch 1. So again, why not bring your relievers that are used to doing that? I mean, you want to bring your marquee starters because it is the All-Star game, and you do want Fox to still pay all the rights fees so the players can be happy and so on and so on. But at the end of the day, and is it this year or next year that the winning team will not get the home field advantage? I think it's maybe this year.
I think you're right.
That's the way it used to be. You'd alternate every other year, and then Fox said, hey, if we're going to pay all that money, we want it to be important. The important was we didn't like the National League and we wanted to win, and we didn't win as many times as we wanted to.
Well, and there was that one All-Star game, fly ball to center field, that ended in a tie because they ran out of pitching.
Well, they changed that by expanding the rosters. And
so one away here in the ninth, and Orioles baseball on Masson, brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by American Standard Heating and Air. Go to midatlanticcomfort.com for special offers and to find a dealer near you.
in fact, the Orioles will go back to the scene of that crime. They'll be in Milwaukee on the 3rd of July. That was maybe the first or second year.
That is a very interesting series. It's day game, night game, and it's the night game on the getaway day. Yeah. Because of the holiday. So I guess the 3rd of July is a holiday because the 4th of July is a Tuesday. Is that how you read that?
No, I don't try to. I'm thinking still in June. I'm thinking about tomorrow.
Well, you brought up Milwaukee. So
well, no, I'm saying this. You were talking about the All-Star game when he ran out of players. Now that's, I think, what it was initially Miller. I assume it's still called Miller Park. It might not be. Oh, maybe.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, but didn't they also? That was maybe the first year, and they had a big rainstorm, and the roof leaked, and so on and so on. There were a lot of drama. I think he probably fixed that by now.
The then commissioner's hometown.
Yes. Well, it still is.
Right.
Yeah, he's getting.
But he's not the commissioner.
This Buds for You is getting into the Hall of Fame this year. One of the 5 inductees.
And you'll be there to welcome him in, I'm sure. Pham swings through a fastball.
So Brad Brock says, okay, if I'm going to get some work, I'm going to try to be as efficient as I can.
And this should do it. Scope an in-between hop, but he recovers. He gets it to first, and the Orioles win to get even in the series. So the Birds brought their bats today, and they go on to a big win. Jonathan Scope, 4 hits, including 2 home runs and 4 RBIs, and the Orioles win. Final score here at Camden Yards: Baltimore 15, St. Louis 7.